989898 and receive your free, no-obligation info kit on gold. Learn how to hold gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA for no money out of pocket. I buy my gold from Birch Gold. Is it time you finally did the same? With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of thankful customers, text my name Buck to the number 989898. Again, text Buck to 989898.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 3 p.m. hour is presented by First Liberty Building and Loan.
Boom is coming. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's still President Trump's prediction as he blames his predecessor for disappointing news on the economy.
The U.S. economy slowed in the first quarter of 2025. The GDP shrinking by 0.3 of a point, the Commerce Department says, the worst quarterly performance since 2022.
And I have to start off by saying that's Biden. That's not Trump.
The president says his tariff policy is attracting new businesses in the U.S., and that will grow the economy.
So it takes a little while to get those facilities built, but they're coming in with big numbers. They're all coming in with big numbers.
Imports, which count against the GDP calculation, surged last quarter, driven in large part by a pre-order of shipments before tariffs kick in.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
The Trump administration has been a disaster.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
100 days in, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have failed to make your life more affordable.
This as Republicans continue work on what the president calls the big, beautiful bill to advance his agenda, including an extension of the 2017 tax cuts.
The biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it would be the biggest tax increase if the Democrats are successful.
Democrats opposing the framework warn that the level of spending cuts proposed will mean cuts to Medicaid, which the president denies. The U.S. Supreme Court hears arguments on taxpayer funding for a religious charter school.
The Constitution promises educators of all faiths the right to take part in programs that support privately operated schools.
Michael McGinley is the attorney for a Catholic virtual school in Oklahoma, where the state Supreme Court sided with opponents who argue public funding will violate the constitutional separation of church and state. America is listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily. It helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, our newly married Flounder on your hump day, baby.
On the day I was born, the all gathered round.
How's it going? 3:03, middle of the week. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And off we go. We got, it's another beautiful day. It's sunny and a chance of pop-up showers once in a while. It's kind of what the world is going through. We're in a routine, I guess. Here we go. And we got a lot of politics stuff. In fact, every time I hear one of these sound bites of Donald Trump, I just start laughing. I mean, I forgot he was going to be on ABC last night. I don't even know when they played it. I didn't watch it. I don't watch television. I just realized, but when I get home at 7 o'clock and make dinner and do laundry or whatever and I have the TV on in the background, but I don't like that girl before Jesse Waters. She rubs me just. So I don't want. I mean, I see who's on her show, but I'm already working on the show. All of a sudden it's 8 o'clock, and I watch Jesse Waters, and then after that I shut down. So I don't watch much TV other than have the Fox News thing on in the background, stuff like that. So I didn't bother watching it. But this morning, Earl, I'm hearing the sound bites and stuff and replays of things, and I'm telling you, I mean, God bless him. What a just a refreshing, bit of sunshine into the way the President of the United States is saying, no, you're the worst. Yeah, the worst. I mean, and not only that, then again today, he holds a public cabinet meeting for more than 2 hours. 2 hours open to the press, the media, carried live on Fox. I don't know if they carried the whole thing, but they carried a whole crap load of it. 2 hours, more than that, and then he met the press. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just I've never even heard of anything like it. And God, I wish we could make that. Well, maybe I'm sounding like an old goat. Well, of course I'm sounding like an old goat. But I wish the point could be made to Americans in general that keep comparing this to what we have put up with for the last 4 years. The hidden
we're
president.
Getting propaganda from the reporters saying we don't feel welcome at the White House. He's the most open president we've ever had.
Yeah, they talk about and again, remember the Biden team were the ones who were saying we're going to bring back a decency, and if anyone ever says a bad word around here, we're going to. I mean, what a bunch of freaking lying, dirty, stinking phonies. And now for them to, now some of the media is slowly coming around. It's sort of, well, it wasn't our fault. We believe the White House. Remember that one late yesterday? They said, well, no, we believe the White House. That was our promise. We took the White House at their faith and their troll. You dirty freaking traitors.
Them.
You lousy traitors.
We trusted them.
Anyway, so we'll play a bunch of Donald Trump sound bites from the interview last night. And also Scott Jennings. In fact, I didn't know this because we were working, I think, when the rally started. I guess I was on the way home. I forgot. But anyway, Donald Trump had Scott Jennings introduce him at the rally last night, which is pretty funny because Scott Jennings, of course, is the CNN guy who just got a big new fat contract at CNN because people like him because he keeps roasting all of his idiot, panelists.
He's getting their ratings back up.
Oh, yeah, and that's why they just gave him a new fat contract, although he wanted his own show, and they said no. But I'll bet that's coming. Anyway.
On another network.
Yeah, and he may be running for Congress. Did I see that last night? I think he's...
Senate.
Yeah. The U.S. Senate seat was. Oh wow! Even I remember he's running for. I think the word is if Donald Trump says we're behind you, then he may do it. So we'll see. Anyway, so this. I mean, what a time in politics. I mean, and then the economy. All of a sudden, they talk about the Harris and the stock market goes down 900, and then
I guess he might possibly try and take Mitch McConnell's Senate seat in Kentucky.
Yeah, and again, McConnell's got to go. I think he's retired. Yeah, he's gone. He's already retired.
I believe also on the Democrat side, isn't Dick Durbin not coming back?
Yeah, Dick Durbin is retired, and I got a lot of bad names for him. He's good riddance of that slime bag. Yeah, and again, the governor of Kentucky is kind of a Weasley guy, if I think they describe him. So
he's a Democrat weasel.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, and again, well, man, wouldn't this be cool? And by the way, riddle me this, Batman. I was listening to Jesse Kelly last night going home, or maybe it was the night before, and he was saying matter-of-factly, and again, he used to be a candidate for Congress. He's lost a couple of elections for Congress where he's from, but he was he's an insider. He was a politician guy for a long time and did a lot of local politics, so he's kind of in the game. And he said, matter-of-factly, he described and said, well, we're going to probably lose the House this off-term election coming up here next year. We'll probably lose the House, but it'd be better to lose the House by only 10 or 15 seats instead of 40 if Donald Trump doesn't get all the economy going in the right direction. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Are we automatically going to lose the House because they always do after a Republican? That's what happens. So I'm thinking, oh God, here we go again. Will this never end? Because if we lose the House, they're going to impeach Donald Trump. The first thing they're going to do, because again, all you have to do is vote to impeach him. Impeach him just means he has to go to trial. And there's, they can vote to have an investigating committee. And then the committee votes to issue articles of impeachment, and then the House votes to impeach him, and then it has to go to of course, he'll never be convicted, but here we go again. Another 2 years of going to get Donald Trump.
So the federal government's already a joke. Nobody believes in it anymore. Yeah. Nobody trusts it anymore. So make an even bigger joke.
Yeah. And again, you know what else scares me? They keep mocking and fun and everything else. But they say, Ocasio Bang-Bangio Stupidio is now having to, not talk about whether she's going to run for president. Well, if that isn't an indication, but oh my God, oh man,
if she would get destroyed on the debate stage. Against J.D. Vance. Come on.
I know, but still, the woman, they're still nuts to try to get a woman as president of the United States. And and again, if you never listened to Jesse Nighttime going home by Jesse Kelly, I don't know why I can't say it. He made a point the other day too, and this is a true story. Ocasio Bang-Bangio Stupidio is an actress. She was a part-time bartender to pay for her acting. And she was also a dancer. So she would dance. In fact, she's done videos. You can find her on videos where she would try to be get social media stuff as a dancer. And she was hired as a dancer when they were looking for dancers to do a convention thing, whatever. She would go and she would be a dancer, get paid to be a dancer. I don't think she was a stripper, but she was a dancer, and she's famous, and you can see video of her dancing. And she was a good one, and she's sexy. The other thing she was an actress, and there's also Jesse was explaining there's audition tapes of her in her acting classes and stuff like that. That's how she became a congresswoman, because the Democrat Party of New York was looking for somebody to replace the old fart who was in that district, and they were literally holding auditions, and they said, we need to talk to people who would love to run for Congress from this district to see how they are on the issues and how they would be da-da-da-da. And she won the campaign to be the candidate for that congressional seat. She won the audition. That's a true story. I mean, it's not. She wasn't just a bartender. She won the audition to get, and they voted her in. So anyway, and she may be to run for president. It looks like. Oh God, why am I talking about politics? 311. What else we got here? What's that?
You notice something about me today?
You shaved your head.
No, that's not.
You're not wearing a t-shirt. You're wearing a sort of a collar shirt.
Close. I've been walking around all morning with my shirt inside out.
Oh, I can't see it. Oh, I see that. Oh, I can see it now, yeah. Oh, I've done it.
I just noticed it.
I've got my underpants inside out.
Well, how do you... I don't want to know.
No, and by the way, speaking of that, and ladies, I'm going to say this, and I won't be crude or anything else. But I was thinking about this, in fact, just a little while ago, for obvious reasons. That here's my problem with shopping for clothes. I haven't bought clothes. I bought a pair of jeans that I finally found that fit. But I went to Macy's, and I go to it was Macy's and Dillard's and Bon Vivant or whatever. What's the next one right there at all North Point Mall?
Marshalls?
No, they're whatever. And so
Lane Bryant.
Yeah, right. No, it's Macy's, Dillard's, and then there's one. Bon Moore, something like that. MAUR. Anyway, they're all men's and women's department stores. So I go in and everyone you go to, they don't have anything in the store. If I only want Jockey's freaking pouch underpants. Okay, do you mind that? Lousy, dirty, stinking Jockey pouch, the pouch version, because they're the best, as opposed to the old-fashioned pull to the side. And they don't have them in Macy's. They only have the old-fashioned ones, and they don't even have the colored ones. I don't wear white underpants. I mean. And so I'm just, because that's the problem with going shopping. They make you go online, and then you have to sign up and get their stinking apps and everything else. And I don't want to go online to shop for my underpants. I want to hold them in my hand in the bag and say, yeah, I want these. Is that too much to ask? What?
Do they separate the coloreds and the whites when you go in the store? Is
You
there a
can't.
section for one and a section for the
They
other?
banned the coloreds at Macy's. No more colored underpants at Macy's. I can't believe it. I mean, it's frankly, it's disgraceful, and I'm not very happy. 313. That's how it's going to go today, I guess. I'm sorry.
And we need a witch.
I got to stop. Oh, yeah, we need a witch for tomorrow. An in-person witch, preferably. All right, hold on. We'll be back.
Your AC unit can do for you, but what Dobbs Heating and Air can do for your AC unit. You need to make sure your AC is in tip-top shape, and Dobbs has a ridiculous deal. $39 for a tune-up of your home cooling system for extra 106.3 listeners. Get your AC ready for summer for only $39. Can't beat it. Tune up and be super cool and comfortable this summer thanks to Dobbs Heating and Air. Head to DobbsHVAC.com to become part of the Dobbs family and experience the Dobbs difference. DobbsHVAC.com.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. At $9.95, you get a quarter-carat pair of studs for free. $24.95, we'll give you half-carat studs. And at $99.95, you're going home with a full-carat pair of studs on us. They're real, natural diamonds, hand-selected for brilliance and the perfect match. Because our studs aren't just any studs, they're D. Geller diamonds. And here's the real magic. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. Or if you're shopping for her birthday, now you've got brownie points with the in-laws too. Or hey, keep the studs for yourself. We're not judging. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Baseball season is back, If too much celebrating leaves you in trouble after the game, it's important to know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. We handle bonds from the stadium to the city, and in most cases, we can have you or your loved one out in a matter of hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT. That's 404-BAIL-OUT. Or online at atlbail.com.
Want the truth about shopping for new floors? Big box stores might have flooring departments, but Empire Today has flooring experts. There's a huge difference. At a big box store, you might be getting help from someone who's in flooring today, but was stocking toilets yesterday. With Empire, you'll work with a dedicated flooring expert. We bring the store to your home, help find the right floors for your lifestyle, and answer questions. All while you view hundreds of samples with your own furniture, decor, and lighting. You'll get an all-inclusive price estimate and can schedule installation as soon as the next day for in-stock styles. That's Empire's home floor advantage, working with experts who specialize in one thing: flooring. For a limited time, use code RADIO to get $500 off your contract of $3,500 or more when you call or visit EmpireToday.com. That's $500 off with code RADIO. You know the number. 800-588-2300 Today. Offer may not be applied to sales or combined with other coupons, discounts, or savings. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Oh, there we go. It was kind of a sad day, actually. 3 years ago today. Covered music and music industry and people in general.
You've been looking for love all around the world. Baby, don't you know this country girl's still free?
I like girl country singers. I always have. When I was a country DJ, when I got out of the Marines and went to Arizona State, got my first job in civilian life on this radio, KHAT, K-Hat in Phoenix. Yeah, I always used to love the lady country singers. 2022, this day, country star Naomi Judd died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Leipers Fork, Tennessee. Leipers Fork, I'm not sure. She was 76 years old. Born in Kentucky, part of the Grammy Award-winning duo The Judds with their daughter Winona. The Judds released 6 studio albums during their career, 3 decades, winning many prestigious accolades, including 5 Grammys and 9 Country Music Association awards. Naomi Judd, 3 years ago today. Our birthday list includes, we got a lot of hot babes again today. Well, not a lot, a few. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, Also, Giselle in the Fast and Furious movies and the evil queen in Snow White, Gal Gadot, 40 years old today. And she was, of course, isn't she Jewish? And she came out and she started really speaking out about it and got all kinds of crap from the freaking Hollywood people. I mean, I'm so sick of all of it. I mean, seriously. Good Lord. God, we used to love... Well, okay, everything's so different. You can't make a comparison to anything anymore. And again, every time I start to think about the old days where we could watch the Oscars, I get to thinking that's why nobody cares about you, because the old days are gone forever. And so I'll try to stop doing that. But again, it's amazing to me the number of things that are different from when I was the way I still feel. I know I still feel the way I did when I was 25 or 39, or you know what I mean, which is the agony of getting older, because you aren't.
Think
that
about
way.
how many things Democrats have destroyed and ruined in our lifetimes, and just everything that was so much fun, they've destroyed.
I mean, and not just being forced to ride have a helmet if you ride your bike in the neighborhood.
Film,
pick everything, pick anything that you used to love, watching TV, what's on, when it's on, what they can show. I mean, it's just everything.
Driving while blind.
Anyway, I don't get it.
Yeah, wait, you're not blind. That means you can't act as a blind person. You can't do that.
They're going to start chopping off limbs to play a guy in a wheelchair. I mean, seriously, these people are, they're just, what are they thinking? Trying to be authentic when they're not authentic at all. They're exactly the opposite. It's acting. It's called acting.
My boy.
Anyway.
Acting.
Oh, Lordy. Let's see. I'll do a history thing later. I got a bunch of them here, by the way, too. All right, let's have a little fun here. Fly 323, Kevin Pete and Flounder, 404-741-1230. All right, Donald Trump last night with this ABC guy, Terry Moran. And we'll start. Terry. We'll start with soundbite number one here, Flounder. In the interview, they were talking about Donald Trump's first 100 days, and they got to talking about tariffs, and they got talking about immigration and everything else. And at one very interesting point, Terry Moran started asking Donald Trump whether it was kind of the way that you ask a negative question about whether our reputation is better or worse. Cut number one, Flounder, if you would.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst, I have to be honest with you.
You're one of the worst. You're fired. Get out of here.
Yeah, but you haven't heard anything yet. If you didn't hear this, let's now do cut number three here, Flounder, because they talked about inflation, and Terry Moran tried to say, well, those tariffs are going to just be a giant inflation of 145%. Trump said, no, you don't know that. You're just guessing at stuff. You're concerned about tariffs. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. Wouldn't have been if I didn't do this. It'd have been a lot worse. They talked about the inflation thing. He said, history of a country has had the worst inflation. People are dying over inflation. Grocery prices are coming down. Energy's coming down. So on and so on and so forth. And then they got to the point about the guy Garcia, who the MS-13 gangbanger, the wife beater, who was sent over to El Salvador. That the Democrats want to come back and have gone to court after court to try to get their murderers and rapists to come back to America because the Democrats want them back in America. And so they started this cut number three, Flounder, started talking about Garcia's tattoo, and listen to how he just tried to not admit that the guy was a freaking gangbanger. Number three, sir.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Move on. Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop. So let me
That was Photoshop. Photoshop, Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted.
I mean, the lies one after another. Well, you know, they interpreted. No, it's interpreted. It's right there. Well, it was Photoshop. No, it wasn't Photoshop. Well, let's quickly move on, because you made me a liar there.
Oh, Lord. And by the way, I think I have some actual information. The tattoos were sketched on the back of his hand, a marijuana leaf, a smiley face, a cross, and a skull. The symbols by gangbangers mean this. The M is for a marijuana leaf. The S is for the smiley face is an S, a cross and a skull, and it is an M and an S and a 1-3. He said, Photoshop? You got to be kidding. Anyway, I mean, these people they just won't stop. I mean, just hysterical.
And he wants to quickly move on.
Yeah,
because he knows he's been caught in a lie.
Yeah, and in fact, at some point, I heard some other sound bites part of it too, where they, they were trying to get him to move on and do everything else. And Trump said, no, and he kept saying, Terry. I mean, unbelievable. I hope they played it. I hope people. Has anybody else responded or any other media? I mean, I wonder whether the American people, if they didn't see the interview and don't watch Fox, whether they're ever going to know. Again, this is part of the last 4 years, last 8 years, scheming against conservatives and Donald Trump.
Well, they're mad because it doesn't sound presidential. What sounds presidential? The federal government stealing your money and pocketing.
In fact, and again, I will say this is going to be the new presidential style. I'll bet you that this is going to lead to people who are saying, man, whatever Trump's doing is really working when you open up and let people be seen. What can he hide now? I mean, he's. I don't know why.
Okay, you've got generations that have been raised in public schools to worship government, to not question government, to just go along like sheep, and they're like aghast. Oh my God, somebody's speaking out against the government.
Yeah, and what is amazing to me is suspected child molester Chuck Schumer and all of them are now using the same old thing. He's a Nazi. He's a dictator. Schumer says, well, he said he wanted to be a dictator for a day, but it looks like he's extending that for the full. I mean, they're back to the Hitler dictator thing again. I'm flabbergasted. And apparently this guy Jeffries, who was the minority leader in the House now, the Democrat, has apparently called a meeting of the caucus and said, stop begging for the murderers to come back from El Salvador, you idiots. Apparently their poll numbers are dropping even worse about that issue in particular. And he's saying, people don't want you to demand we get the rapists and the gangbangers back. And now with this thing about the MS-13, Terry, I don't know. I mean, it's disgraceful. And by the way, they're not even talking about him being a human trafficker. Nobody had a license. They didn't have any luggage. They were supposedly traveling, several states in America with no luggage. What are you talking about? They're not on vacation. I mean, it's unbelievable. Please, just tourists. Oh, really? Where's your change of clothes?
It's like those old open air buses. You used to drive people through Yosemite. Just see them, the Smoky Mountains.
It's over there on your left. 3:30 already. Give her bean flounder. Humpity hump, baby. How's it going?
McAlpin here alongside Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan, heard right here on Extra 106.3. And Evan, many Americans think having a well-funded 401k means they will have a comfortable retirement. But the question I have is that really all we need?
Kevin, that's a great question. The way the analogy I use is it's like having a really, really good play in your game, but a good play isn't a game plan. That'll work once It's limited. What we want is a plan, a game plan throughout the entire course of your retirement that we know is set you up for success. 401ks are a great savings tool, but they're not a plan. They're a play. And so what we do is we put together an income plan as well as an investment plan to make sure that you are taking the stress out of your retirement. You've worked too long, too hard. You've made all the right decisions, sacrificed to get to this point. You've got it down to the 1 yard line. Now you need a game plan to finish it off, and that's what we provide.
And let's be honest, we stress for 30, 40 years in the workforce. That's the last thing you want to have to deal with when you get to retirement, right?
Of course, the whole point, our philosophy is let's take the stress out of retirement so that you know this new phase of your life is going to be the thing you've been working so long to enjoy.
That's the last thing you want when it comes to your retirement is stress. If it sounds like you, pick up the phone, call Evan and the team at Atlas Retirement today for a complimentary 401k x-ray. That number is 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Or get more details anytime online. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
It's that time of year again. Chuck, the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, is bringing back the 5th annual Christmas in July, benefiting Skyland Trail, a nonprofit leading the way in mental health wellness right here in Atlanta. Skyland Trail provides expert, evidence-based treatment to help people facing mental health challenges find a path to recovery. Central Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to support this mission. As one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta, Central knows what it means to give back. Here's how you can help. Just sign up for a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and $10 from every new agreement will go directly to Skyland Trail, providing life-changing mental health care for adults and teenagers. Central services all makes and models, and with them, you're never just a number, you're part of the family. Call 770-GET-HEAT or visit centralheat.com to sign up and help Central Heating and Air Conditioning give back. Carrier products, carrier warranty, carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. Now that President Trump has unburdened us from what could have been, our country's finally headed in the right directions. But the Democrats are screaming and yelling and losing their minds. And unfortunately, the bad guys are still here and they want your stuff. Thank you, Joe Biden. And customers are still reporting break-ins and thefts of their hard-earned valuables. Don't wait till it's too late. Get a quality safe from the Safe House. We carry the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. And remember, gun safes are sales tax-free at Atlanta Safe House. So give us a call or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Let me remind you, this whole thing about portraying conservatives as fascists started with the Communist Party USA memo in 1943. Call conservatives fascist. One thing these leftists are good at, taking orders.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Look out.
Nobody gonna take my car, I'm gonna race it to the ground. Nobody gonna beat my car, it's gonna break the speeding sound.
Here we go, 336. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and on this day in 2019, hold on, I gotta adjust my thing here with my one working ear. Deepak Rao, the finance director for Deep Purple, who's their royalty management company, This guy, Deepak, was sentenced to 6 years in prison for stealing about $3 million from Deep Purple's accounts. He had put toward money-losing schemes. He claimed they were loans he was planning to pay back later, but he was rumbled when the owners of both companies died and their stakes were passed on to their children, who said, "Nah, I don't think so, sir. Thank you very much. We'll take our money, please." Our birthday list includes, and I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to kind of tease you. I have 2 birthdays today from members of the TV show The Big Bang Theory. I will give you one of those birthdays now and save one for later. I know. If you want to just tape the rest of the show, if you got something to do, you don't want to miss the second Big Bang Theory birthday. Our first Big Bang Theory birthday guest special today is Kunal Navyar, 44. Played Raj on The Big Bang Theory. Shares the birthday with, I almost gave away the other one. Anyway, that's one. The other one is coming up a little bit later on today with the Kim Repeat and Flounder program.
Don't you think you should be calling for a witch?
I have to do the history thing, and then we'll ask for our witch. Jumping the gun, but I'm as anxious as you are. I think that was a great idea. I support this entirely. But first of all, Pete, you'll like this because the Civil War, which I know you don't like that particular phrase, on this day in 1863, the Battle of Chancellorsville in Virginia, Joseph Hooker led the Army of the Potomac into Virginia to take on Robert E. Lee. Hooker replaced Burnside, who was presiding over the Army of Potomac when they had that horrible disaster of the Battle of Fredericksburg. The Yankees had like 15,000 casualties, and Johnny Reb had a heck of a lot less than that. Robert E. Lee was brilliant as tactically brilliance. He split his forces, holding the Federals at bay at Fredericksburg, marched for the rest of the conflict, met in open field, went on a tiny but at Chancellorsville. Now, Hooker ordered his forces to fall back in defensive positions, and Robert E. Lee then, even though his army was far outnumbered, he had the Confederates clamped between two substantial forces, and Hooker went on the defensive. Lee had his most daring battle plan, split his army again, and sent Stonewall Jackson west around the Union's right flank. It snapped the Union army and sent Hooker in retreat back to Washington, D.C., and it says here, perhaps more than any other event during the war, cemented Lee's invincibility in the eyes of both sides. 1863, Battle of Chancellorsville. Kim Repeat and Flounder, 339. How's it going? Okay, we need a witch. Pete Davis, tell the people why we do. Little people, why do we need a witch for tomorrow? May 1st is tomorrow.
That's right. It's May Day, otherwise known as Beltane, which means big fire or something like that. And that's where the Celts and the Gaelics and all those get together, the Wiccans, and they have big bonfires, and they weigh in the beginning of summer.
Yeah. Now, for people of a certain age, including people like me, I remember back in grade school in the 50s, and I guess, in the 50s.
The 60s, too.
And I 62, and in schools, we would dance around the maypole, and they would have crepe paper, different colors, and we try. I mean, I'm remembering that right? I mean, I'm not making that up.
It's Decatur.
And I don't have any idea how the teacher had us start doing it. I remember her saying, "No, in honor of the soul." I mean, I have no idea why. I remember why I'm dancing around the mayflower pole, but I have no idea why.
They didn't say why.
No one ever said anything about any witches. It was like to celebrate spring and the flowers blooming or something, and that was what it was.
Well, it's a phallic symbol, and when the girls are dancing, basically it's a...
they're ready to have a baby for you by opening up the heavens gates of the womanly heavenliness of nature's window.
But they don't explain it like that. It's just an activity. It's just an activity. Keep us busy at the recess.
But in fact, now what's it? Now, a Wiccan's not a witch, is it? Or is a Wiccan a witch?
Yeah, they're a good witch.
Do they all cast spells? I'm not sure Wiccans cast spells, but now do they start with like an Earth first thing?
Yeah,
like all the power in the universe comes from the Earth. Do they believe in God? Do they have a God?
I don't know if they believe in God so much.
We need a witch. If we have any witch or anybody knows a witch, I guess we could do witch.com and look and see if there's any traveling witches being available.
Witch.com.
But I don't know. I mean, I suppose there's probably a witch.com. Anybody knows if anybody's actually, because we have a ghost hunter, Joel. We have a ghost hunter, and we have stuff like that. So maybe if we have an official Kimmer Show witch to help us explain what the heck's
Call
going on.
in or come in.
Yeah.
Hopefully come in and burn
that'd be
some
great.
sage
Yeah,
there or
we'll give
something.
you a gift package of. Yeah,
There is a witch.com. It says magic and responsibility woven, intention, seeing spells or not, getting stuck, attunements, and a blog.
Oh my goodness! Now, by the way, if you come down here, I don't want you to turn me into a newt or something, or a frog or something.
I got better.
It's a newt. Yeah, you're dead now. I'm not dead. Well, you will be. I tried. I'll admit this to you now. I actually asked Pete whether we could pull this off. It's when the Pope died. And I was going to say, we'd bring you down the Kimmerson secret microphone of what actually happened to the Pope. And we're going to play the Monty Python bit of bring out
Too
your
soon.
dead. I'm not dead yet. You're going to be dead in a minute. Boing, whatever.
Maybe in a week or two we can do that.
Totally. And the other thing I wanted to do was to play My Name is Francis. Any people call me Francis and I'll kill you. from Stripes. Which is
none of you homos touching my stuff.
Touch my stuff. And I'll kill you. Oh, lighten up, Francis. I mean, one of the great seeds of all time. Anyway, all right. Kimmer P. and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 343. I'm in a goofy mood here. I don't know what's going on. I want to go ride my chopper. I still can't stop thinking about that damn motorcycle.
When's the last time you rode it?
I ride it on weekends. I hate to, it's so wonderfully marvelous, but it's loud.
Who cares? It's yours.
I know.
It's
but
not like you're starting it up at 7 in the morning or 11:30 at night.
Again, but I'm trying to be respectful to my neighbors, even though they don't give a damn about me. I mean, anyway, for whatever. This morning I thought about it, and I think when I go home tonight, I think I'm going to hop on it and just take like a 30-minute thing around, just because, God, it's just anyway. And I'm so thrilled with all the people who faked me out and fixed up my dead chopper. In fact, I was thinking, here's another thing. God, I don't know. I'm rambling like crazy. I swear to God, I'm not taking cough medicine or something weird. I saw 3 motorcycle cops today in a formation riding together, not just one after another, but 3 motorcycle cops in their trio formation that they can do. Cobb County police officers on their big Harleys. And I thought to myself, I thought, man, 'tis the season. And I remembered that I had to sell my that I actually had a police Harley that I bought from back when Earl Smalls was operating. And I bought an actual police motorcycle from the Cobb County Police Department. They were selling them used. And then I souped it up. Cost me $50,000 to get everything souped up with a Screaming Eagle motor and all that extra stuff. But I did make 10% when I sold it. I actually made 10% because it cost me $50,000 by the time I got done. But I made 10% because I sold it for $5,000. So therefore, I made 10% of the deal, which is pretty good. Which is also another reason why I never went into accounting. I don't think that's the way you're supposed to figure it. So I made 10%, right?
That's like Blondie saying to Dagwood that she saved $100 that day by big bargains.
But yeah, but instead of paying $200, I saved you $100. or Michael Scott. Anyway, and I just forgot what I was thinking. He said the exact same thing. Oh, God, I can't believe it. I was just going to mention a thing that Michael Scott did, and then it just completely left my mind. Holy cow. All right, well, everything's fine. 345.
You know your name, right?
No, sir, I'm not having a stroke. I swear to God. I can laugh. Ha, 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 ho, ho, ho. So I'm not having a stroke. Thank goodness. All right, look out. It's 3:45. All right, give me well, we got stuff. We got more. We got a lot of sport. Belichick's back on the news. We'll talk about Pete's Sports Hole coming up later on. Anyway, that's a little later. 3:45. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go.
The Braves Kids Club program is back this season with new and improved benefits, including 2 new membership options. Kids Club members enjoy all the perks of monthly Kids Club days at Truist Park and receive discounted tickets and invites to special events. Plus, your kids will love the new Kids Club kit, featuring an exclusive t-shirt, hat, and beaded necklace like the players wear. It's the best way to rep the Braves in your town. Visit braves.com/kids to sign up for the Kids Club today. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Shooting drills. A coach who knows the game can teach their team how to improve. But one who genuinely cares about each player
You have what it takes. We got this.
can inspire them to win. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Start feeling unstoppable. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
So, the doc says I have ED. ED. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just an abbreviation for a condition so many men have. If I was to be honest, I probably also have a little OCD. I know I have a great HMO. Heck, I even have 3 weeks of PTO. Look, don't let a few letters get you down. If you have ED, there's HELP. Go see Dr. Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He's an ED specialist that will turn your life around PDQ. ED happens to a lot of men as we age. And just FYI, Dr. Deal can give you back the confidence you need to perform on the JOB. So, ready to take the first step? Quit yelling WTF at your little BFF and visit tbtofga.com. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can fix your ED ASAP. And before you know it, you'll be screaming OMG.
I'm getting in the game. The world won't be the same. I'm good to go.
Call 404-777-1911 or visit tbtofga.com.
Going to Dave Matthews.
If these walls came crumbling down.
Okay. Thank you, Flounder. That would have been
I forgot to
embarrassing.
download the other one. I'll have the other one ready next segment.
That's all right, Flounder.
As I said it on air right before we went on air.
That's good. I'm sorry. Everything's fine now. Well, Flounder's our musical director, and he has a list of songs to play and have a little history story behind him, so that's what we're doing. It's again, nobody else in America. I bet there's not another freaking a talk show host in America that comes out of a break with playing music and talking about the artist and then doing a birthday and history thing. Am I correct? I bet there's not a single one in America doing it other than me.
Not since 1977. Right.
Well, there you are. And I can't stop it. I noticed a new guy didn't come here to tell me to stop.
Hey, why should you stop? Ratings are doing very well.
Are they? Well, no one ever tells me anything. I have no idea.
Yes, ratings are very good. The upper management is happy.
Obviously, we're not doing as well as the morning boys who keep saying we have all the women in America listening to our station and nobody else for the morning show.
What?
Oh my God. You haven't heard talk about all the chicks they have listening? Oh my God. They have more babes, apparently. They have more chicks, more hot
show?
babes. Oh, God. Than anybody. Yeah, apparently.
Hey, Bert.
Anyway, so this is Dave Matthews, as we say here. What the hell was that? I just wanted to make a point about something we were talking about.
You're rambling about something.
I know. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Dave Matthews, 2005, 20 years ago. Dave Matthews, what's the matter?
We were talking about this the other day.
The Dave Matthews thing. 20, yeah, exactly. 20 years ago today, Dave Matthews Band agreed to pay $200,000 after their tour bus decided to dump their human waste stuff onto a boatload of tourists below them over the Chicago River. The bus driver was alone on board the bus at the time the sewage was dumped. He was fined $10,000. The band had already donated another $100,000 to two groups to protect the Chicago River and everything around it. They offered their deepest apologies to more than 100 boat passengers who were on a tour of the architecture of the Chicago River and got sewage dumped on them from the bus.
The Sears Tower.
Yonk. Oh, Lordy. Yeah. Oh, man, Chicago. God, do I have some memories about that? Years of experience.
You know, there's a big thing on Facebook I noticed today, like yesterday or a day or two ago. They had a big meeting of the Friends of Georgia Radio or something. I didn't see your photo there or Flounders.
Friends of Georgia Radio.
It was like
no one's ever heard of it.
Were you invited? Or?
I've never heard of the group. It was like, well, no, I didn't know there was. I hope they had a wonderful meeting or whatever it is they do. Or
yeah, they did. They seemed to be having a good time.
Oh well, that's a terrific thing there. Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no. I mean, it's not really. It's our. Again, I'm not. Fine. I don't have a thing. Everybody thought I was dead a long time ago. They're still stealing half my stuff and not giving me credit for anything I pull. I know. News monster. I know.
I didn't know Moby had passed, but I found out Moby had passed away a while back.
Yeah, that's. In fact,
because we worked with him for 6 weeks.
That's right, yeah. And in fact, Moby, when I embarrassed myself at the Cobb County Veterans Day celebration many years ago by giving a speech that I was I blocked my mind out. It was on Veterans Day, and I was the guest speaker, and Moby was the MC of the event, and I was the guest speaker for the Veterans Day celebration. And I'm telling you, when I walked in there, and it was at the Armory, so they had all the, the weapons and the gear and the walkie-talkies and all the hell. It's just, and all of a sudden I got to the podium when it was time to speak, and I just was stupid. I was horrible. It was just horrible. But I remembered Moby was the smoothest, most professional, friendliest, just a wonderful MC. He was terrific, just terrific. And I couldn't have been more impressed with the guy who did. I remember the business and the media, and most of us are idiots and really selfish, stupid, a-holes. And Moby was not. He was, and I forgot. I remember that he passed away now, and I can't remember. It was quite a while ago, and I feel bad that I don't remember it as we speak right now. Anyway, let's do. We got 3:53. We're doing okay. How are we doing? We doing all right? I don't feel like talking politics for a second. Let's do this. Let's do in fact, let me ask you a question when we get to the end of this. The year 1633. The astronomer Galileo Galilei recants his belief that the Earth revolves around the sun, which is heliocentrism. 1633. He recanted it because they were going to torture him. In 1615, the Roman Inquisition determined that heliocentrism, the Earth going around the sun being the center, contradicted the Holy Scripture, citing biblical passages in Psalms 93, Chronicles 104:5, Psalm, the Lord set the earth on its foundations, can never be moved, things like that. Ecclesiastes, there were several of them. Galileo's dialogue concerning the two chief world systems supported the sun being the center and appeared to attack Pope Urban VIII. For his indiscretion, the Pope had him brought before the Roman Inquisition under threat of torture. Galileo said, I was totally, I'm taking that back now. Galileo was sentenced to house arrest for the rest of his life and was forbidden to publish anything. Again, this is 1633. As late as 1990, the church still showed support for Galileo's prosecution, as evidenced in a speech by Cardinal Ratzinger, became Pope Benedict, in which he said her Roman Catholic Church verdict against Galileo was rational and just, and the revision of this verdict can be justified only on the grounds of what is politically opportune.
What?
That was 1990. 1992, though, the Catholic Church admitted they were wrong in that entire decision. Now, let me ask you this. If you were called before the mighty tribunal and you were told either you recant your religious beliefs or we'll torture you, wouldn't God forgive you for recanting your religious beliefs if you didn't want to be tortured?
It wasn't a religious belief. It was scientific.
Yeah, I know. But again, if your choice is, if you're giving up what you believe, life, or you're going to be tortured. I mean, you better have some pretty strong beliefs, be willing to have it done. Yeah. Now, if you're willing to be tortured to save your children's lives or something, that's one thing. But, I mean, for your personal, individual beliefs, I wonder whether you could justify saying, well, you can't do that under threat of, if you're threatened, that's not reality. So why should you be held to something if you're threatened? That's not, that's not real. I don't know. I'm just saying. Can you imagine the year 16 in the 1600s? Where did they go to the bathroom? I mean, I don't know.
Outside?
I mean, seriously, how do you wash? They didn't wash they got married in May because that's when women wash their hair, once a year or whatever. I mean, it's just amazing. The spring brides, they got married in May because that's when girls wash their hair every year in egg yolks or something. I don't know. And now Flounder's funny.
Thank you.
Right here, coming up right here in a moment. With
Mother goes, will you tell him a joke? My mother keeps jokes in shoe.
Hold on, that's the wrong one.
That's right.
Give me 2 seconds here.
We have seconds up the gazongo here. It's all the seconds you want.
Gate modified.
Very good.
Here we
Tiffany.
go.
There goes Tiffany. Hey, baby. That's our former work wife.
I think it's mainly I had a long day. I got to be honest. I'm serious. I got a stain on my shirt today, man. And as a big guy, when you get a stain on your shirt, your day's over. I hate to break it to you. No, it puts 20 pounds on you. I got a stain on my shirt, and everybody looked at me like he's so fat, he can't feed himself. Y'all, a stain on a big person, you just look, you might as well have just crapped your pants, man. On a skinny person, think about a skinny person stain. Somebody goes, what did a fat person spill something on you? They go, how'd you get that stain? Because skinny people don't spill stuff. Did a fat guy spill something? And you skinny people, you stare at my stains like my story is in that stain. Like if you stare at that stain long enough, you'll see how I became what I am. Seriously. I got one stain on my shirt. The respect that I had zero respect from went to a grocery store. They were like, somebody get him a scooter, man. Look at him. He's losing his feet, man. He's got a stain on his, getting him something to sit on, man.
This is Sir Derek Strope right there.
Derek Strope?
Correct.
I don't think I've ever heard of him. He's a pretty amusing guy. Obviously, he's a big fat load or something, but he's
a bigger fella.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I saw Louis Anderson, he did a bit about he doesn't go to the beach anymore because it kept trying to shove him back in, stuff like that. And anyway, so, well, good. If he's making a living doing it, then good for him. By the way, coming up, some new rules from Donald Trump. The Democrats are concerned that famous actor George Clooney's wife, Anal, might be thrown on and not be able to come back into the country. Yeah, his wife, Anal Clooney, is not as possible. She lives over in Europe and stays with him here and got kids and everything. But apparently his wife, Anal, may not be able to because she was trying to get the Jewish president thrown in prison. So, so Anal Clooney, well, there you go. Just stop her from coming the hell back in. I know that. Anyway, that's all right. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. It's hump day, baby. We're right in the freaking middle of it. And have a little fun here until 6 o'clock. 106.3. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
The president remains optimistic on Lisa Brady, Fox News, blaming his predecessor for the U.S. economy shrinking in the first quarter by 0.3%. Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House.
When you look inside the numbers, the negative number reflected an uptick in imports to get in front of the tariffs. It also showed a large downturn in government spending and a deceleration in consumer spending, which was happening at the end of the Biden administration.
President Trump telling reporters during a cabinet meeting.
But we're turning it around. It's a big ship to turn around, and we're going to have have the greatest country financially in the history of the world, I believe.
He says his tariff policy is attracting new investment in the U.S. Democratic congressional leaders have a different message.
Out in front of the U.S. Capitol, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer characterized the Trump term as a failure that could see the government
slashing Medicaid, strangling Social Security, hurting our veterans. Total failure on helping American families.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries turned to the economy and promises of lower costs he said haven't been kept.
Far too many people in this country are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck.
Democrats standing with the leader say congressional Republicans are complicit, adding they'll point to the 2026 midterms to flip both houses and change course.
Fox's Gernal Scott. A late rally on Wall Street, the Dow finishing up 141. 10 more Americans are released by Kuwait, now 23 freed in the past few months, including military contractors and veterans held on drug charges and other allegations. Officials telling the Associated Press this was not part of a prisoner swap and that the U.S. was not asked to give up anything in return. Meantime, the Pentagon just announcing the potential sale of Patriot missile system equipment and support to Kuwait has been approved by the State Department. America is listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily. It helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Now, Flounder, you got me confused here, my friend.
Muddy Waters. Sorry, we didn't go back to the other guy.
We got one to go to make up for. 1980. There we go. Now, see, I would have known now because I was guessing between, well, a couple of things. This is Muddy Waters, and on this day of 1983, the blues legend-born McKinley Morganfield passed away in his sleep at his home in Westmont, Illinois. Muddy Waters was 68. This was 1983. Major influence on many acts, including Cream, Eric Clapton, and Led Zeppelin. The Rolling Stones named themselves after Waters' 1950 song Rolling Stone. Some of his best-known songs include I Just Want to Make Love to You, I'm Your Hoochie Coochie Man, and Got My Mojo Working. Muddy Waters.
That's this one right here, Mojo Working.
There you go. Let's see. Phone calls take priority. Roswell Tim, I think, is on the horn. Hello, Roswell Tim. How's it going? Welcome aboard, sir.
Hey, Kimmer.
Yeah, man.
Just wanted to give you a heads up. On May 18th, 12 to 5, it's a Sunday. They're having a regional bikini contest at one of their local motorcycle dealerships, and you should show up at that.
Oh, God. Where? And on May what now? 18th, or what'd you say?
Yeah, it's May 18th, which is a Sunday, 12 to 5. And it's over at Killer Creek, Harley-Davidson in Roswell.
Oh, I'll be darned. Well, that's right down the street from me. I know that place very well. And it's a bikini contest? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a regional event. It's a national contest, but they have, like, the pre-stages in regional areas. And we're one of them. They've done it there for several years now.
Well, remember that picture of me? In fact, I'll try to find. I've got it on my phone somewhere. Maybe I can see it in a break. I'll try to find it of me when I was at Earl Small's Harley Davidson. I was a judge of of one of the motorcycle girl contests, and there's a picture of me that I have in my phone, and I'll try to post it here at some point later with the contestants. Oh, in fact, I'll tell you. This was back when I thought I had money. And one of the girls was walking around. Hey, baby, there's hi, sweetie. Hi, baby. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No. Well, that's Aaron. I got I mean, come on, it's hard. You can't. I just Anyway, so one of the girls was shopping around and looking at her stuff or something, and I was telling the girls, boy, that was my girlfriend. I've been getting all this stuff, and so she's wandering around, and then she turned around to the other girls with her. The contestant said, "Where's the guy with the money?" Thinking that was me. Anyway, that's the last time I was involved with judging a beauty contest. But yeah, okay, May 18th at Killer Creek. And did you say that was a Sunday?
Yeah, that is a Sunday, and they start at 12 and go to 5.
I'll be darned.
And you could ride your chopper or drive your car, either one. Yeah. Come on down and hang out with the Harley boys.
All right, man. Thank you, Roswell Tim. I appreciate it, my friend. I don't think I could really take that kind of pressure. 406, Kim Repeat and Flounder, how's it going? 404-741-1230. And our birthday list includes, man, I got to get to the eye doctor. Sam Heunen. He's 45. Jamie Fraser, it says here the Scottish stud. I don't know about that. Jamie Fraser, the Scottish guy from the Stars Time travel series Outlander. I see that a lot on the guide. Outlander. Sam Hewen is 45. He was there, a Scottish guy there. The thing here. And on our history list here today, I remember this well. On this day, 1952, the first toy advertised on TV. Hey, baby, there's Princess. Bye, sweetie. There's Princess Bella. I gave her, she got a cookie. I brought in cookies for the girls at work today. All of them. There's 6 of them. I bring in cookies. When I make cookies, I bring in cookies for Flounder and the 6 girls. So that's a scoop. Anyway, and Mr. Potato Head, the first toy advertised on TV, 1952, this day, the first TV ad targeted for children, too. It worked. They sold 1 million Mr. Potato Heads in the first year, added to a Mrs. Potato Head the year after that. It was invented and manufactured by George Lerner in 1949. Hasbro took it over. The original Mr. Potato Head kit was offered as separate parts to be attached to a real potato. And that's what we did.
Yep.
And your mother would give you a big brown potato, and you would stick the parts on a real potato. And then that was in 1952. And then in 1964, they actually came out with a plastic potato body in the kit. In 1975, they doubled it in size, increased the size of its attachments, and it was because the larger attachments were easier for small children to attach and to not swallow. So anyway, Mr. Potato Head, the first toy for children advertised, and the first TV advertising toy, 1952 on this day. 408, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? Oh, by the way, I wanted to say thank you to Joshua. I mentioned, we were talking about Al Pacino the other day, and that girl from Burn Unit who was really kind of sinewy and skinny-ish and really kind of...
Gabrielle Anwar.
Yeah, something. And I mentioned that's the same girl who did the tango scene in the movie Offendable Woman with Al Pacino. And I mentioned if you haven't seen it, you should really Google it. It's really quite charming. And she was just lovely in it. She was sweet and pretty and lovely and giggly. I mean, just honest, and it was just a wonderful tribute to look like a sweet young girl waiting for her boyfriend, and they took her dancing. Anyway, so Joshua sent me that video, so I just watched it a little while ago, and it's just as sweet and wonderful the dance tango scene from Son of a Woman as it was when I first saw it. So anyway, thank you, Joshua. 409, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Oh, another thing is going on. We didn't talk about this, boys. Have you seen this new social media thing? Can 100 men beat a gorilla? Have you seen this challenge? It's going now. It's going social media all over the place. If you had 100 tough guys, 100 boxers, wrestlers, if you had 100 guys, could they beat one gorilla? And there are people who are saying, "Oh, absolutely." Absolutely.
All at once? 100 against 1?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think they could take him if there's 100 against 1. Yeah.
Have you seen what a silverback can
do? but about 65 to 70 of them will die.
Well, here's the thing: 100. Okay, how many men do you think could get into or near within arm's reach or legs reach of a gorilla at one time? So in other words, you could only have like 5 guys could get near him to try to hurt him at one moment. The rest of them are waiting to get in line. Do you see what I mean? There'd be a crowd behind you. So he would just beat the crap out of 5 or 6 at a time, throw you into the woods, and take on the next 5 or 7. There's no way that 100 guys could beat a gorilla. You couldn't have 100 guys. They'd have to jump on. They'd have to pile on top of him to smother him.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you couldn't climb
where
on.
I would be in that line.
I'd be last.
I'd be in the back of that line.
I'd be going the wrong way by mistake. Oh, well, I thought it was over there. Yeah, Your Honor. I mean, no way. I mean, my God. But I thought, now that's a new thing going around, too. It's really needed my phone.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
100 guys built like a Herschel or Bo Jackson or, any of those weightlifters.
Yeah, but still,
100 of them might be able to put a hurt on them.
One hand of a gorilla go thwomp and it's over. You're up in a tree. I don't know. Anyway, 411. Here's number 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And by the way, the business about George Clooney's wife, Anal, it could be apparently what's going on. She was on the International Criminal Court when they were trying to charge Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and the former Defense Minister Gallant with war crimes in Gaza. And again, Gaza was sitting there, and all of a sudden the Gaza people attacked the innocent Jewish concert goers and slaughtered all those people and raped and tortured and burned them alive. And you remember all the things they did. Have you forgotten? Apparently. And so Donald Trump says, no. Any ICC officials, the International Criminal Court, again, the International Criminal Court decided to charge the Jewish leaders with war crimes, and this girl, Anal Clooney, was part of it. They invited her to be part of the damn thing. She had an instrumental role in prosecuting them, and when she joined the panel of their legal experts about these so-called war crimes. So Donald Trump has ordered a sanction, all ICC of all those officials on that panel, their employees and their immediate family members be hit with financial penalties and visa restrictions after we've closed the sanctions for their baseless warrants. In other words, if the 47-year Anal Clooney, the wife, goes overseas, he may not be allow her to come back again. Well, that'd be a heartbreaker. And by the way, I'm sick and tired of all these dirty, stinking liberals, every freaking one of them. George Clooney and all the rest. He's an actor. He's pretty, and he reads other people's lines. And so all of a sudden, he marries this Jew-hating, terrorist-supporting international lawyer. I don't have any respect for those people. And all the rest of the stinking phonies, too. Especially members of the media. I mean, shame on all of them. They tried to hurt their country. Oh, I don't know. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on WFOM, the only farm of the South. Yes, 106.3. Do you know where WFOM? That's our call letters. The farm of the South.
Friend of many.
There you are.
Friend of many.
Finally, an orgasm for me. No, that can't be it.
Oh, no.
Well, at work?
Come up with slogans.
Let's talk about sex at work. What does FOM mean?
The rest of the show is slogans.
Yeah. And we need a witch. We need a witch and a slogan. Fought over me. Yeah, there you go.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
This is one of those commentaries going to bring complaint letters to the station, while other people will say, damn, I wish I had the guts to say that. Donna and I are getting into cruises in our retirement years. Unpack and repack just one time. We've been on 4 cruises recently, last couple of years, and we've learned some things. No more Royal Caribbean. Beautiful ships, thousands of out-of-control kids. Recently, a group of black teenagers, Royal Royal Caribbean elevator. They're jumping up and down. A man tells them to stop. They're scaring people. Who you talking to, bitch? That man was attacked and woke up in a pool of his own blood. One of the attackers now in jail, Broward County. Number 2, never Carnival Cruise Lines. Recently, a series of fights broke out on a recent Carnival cruise. 24 members, all from the same family, removed from that ship and put on a do not sail list. They can't go back. Yes, the entire family was black. Carnival Cruise Lines is the champion when it comes to violence on cruise ships. And the numbers show, more often than not, the perps are black. This is the culture of violence at work. It is not about race. I am not a racist. I am a culturalist. I recognize that some cultures are better, more peaceful than others. So if you plan a cruise, and it's a lovely way to go on a vacation, check the statistics. Last year, Carnival, more than any other cruise line, had the highest number of incidents, including assaults, serious bodily injury, sexual assaults, and rapes, more than any other major cruise line. Carnival also has the highest percentage of black passengers. Use wisely your power to choose which cruise line. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
And don't forget, if you're giving her as well a new backyard or some landscaping and stuff, Stovall and Company, the family business for your wholesale supplies for landscapers and builders. If you need bricks and stones, and they're huge on boulders, got tremendous boulders. They got plants and bushes and shrubs and trees and lawn and all that stuff. And don't forget, Paul Stovall and the Sons running this place for 75 years now. This is the company that actually had a customer saying he needed something special as a memorial tribute. And Paul said, well, we don't have what you're looking for there, but my competitor does, and actually sent him to his competitor to get the job done the way he wanted it, because the guy said he wanted the jobs done the right way. That's what Stovall does, taking care of business. You need something delivered right to you? It's on the way, my friend. Look him up, StovallInc.com.
Want the truth about shopping for new floors? Big box stores might have flooring departments, but Empire Today has flooring experts. There's a huge difference. At a big box store, you might be getting help from someone who's in flooring today, but was stocking toilets yesterday. With Empire, you'll work with a dedicated flooring expert. We bring the store to your home, help find the right floors for your lifestyle, and answer questions. All while you view hundreds of samples with your own furniture, decor, and lighting. You'll get an all-inclusive price estimate and can schedule installation as soon as the next day for in-stock styles. That's Empire's home floor advantage, working with experts who specialize in one thing: flooring. For a limited time, use code RADIO to get $500 off your contract of $3,500 or more when you call or visit EmpireToday.com. That's $500 off with code RADIO. You know the number.
800-588-2300 Today.
Offer may not be applied to sales or combined with other coupons, discounts, or savings. Terms apply.
Everything's good. Everything's fine. Not to worry. I'm going to look at up one thing here before I go. Damn it, I can't find it. I hate when I do this. Ah, there it is. I remember. All right, here we go. Kimber Pete Flounder, how you doing? On this day in 1976, God, we're doing the Who, right? Keith Moon paid 9 cab drivers to block off both ends of a New York street on this day in 1976 so he could throw the contents of his hotel room out the freaking window. So he paid 9 cabbies to block it off so he could pull it off. 1976. Same day, 4 years later, 80. The film McVicker, with Roger Daltrey from The Who in the title role, premiered in London. John McVicker was a 1960s armed robber turned writer who Scotland Yard publicly announced to be public enemy number 1 and wanted dead or alive. And the movie with the Roger Daltrey. There you go. Anyway, on this day in history, hold on a second. I got to here we go, you dirty rats. My phone went to skank skook. On this day in history, 1975. We kind of teased it yesterday. Saigon became Ho Chi Minh City, basically. The People's Army of Vietnam and the Viet Cong made a deal. The South Vietnamese forces had collapsed. Recent fighting, this was again started in December 1974, north of Saigon, Cambodian border. The provincial capital started to fall. The United States did nothing. Nixon had resigned from office. Gerald Ford could not convince Congress to make good on Nixon's pledge to rescue Saigon from a communist takeover. It was too late. This is 1975 now. And by this day and the day before, North Vietnamese encircled Saigon. A complete takeover. They came crashing through the presidential palace gates. North Vietnamese colonel accepted the surrender. They explained, you have nothing to fear. Between Vietnamese, there are no victors and no vanquished. Only the Americans have been beaten. If you are patriots, consider this a moment of joy. The war for our country is over. And that's how they told their people. And again, that was not true. They put them in concentration camps and re-education camps. I mean, it was freaking brutal. And the stories of the people who came here in those refugee boats trying to, flee to America. Holy cow. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 404-741-1230, 741-1230. It's 422. We haven't done tweets. Let's do a tweet. You want to do some tweets here in a minute? Oh, by the way, and we're going to play some more comments from Donald Trump. If you didn't hear them earlier, they're definitely worth playing, and they're pretty cool. But there's an interview with an idiot Terry Moran from ABC News last night. And, of course, they're all complaining about international trafficking, of human trafficking and drugs and so forth. And they're complaining about the immigration policies because the Democrats want to get all the gangbangers back in again. And they're complaining that Donald Trump, they're all saying now because Donald Trump is closing the border and kicking out criminals, that he's now some kind of a Nazi. Nazis didn't do that. I mean, I still don't know. I mean, they're saying it enough, hoping people will just say, "Oh, that Donald Trump, he's still a Nazi," I guess. But here's, for the record, I thought this was a story that I'll bet's not being covered anywhere. Homeland Security agents have rescued 2 teenage sisters who were sent to America as unaccompanied minors. They came in here alone, no family. Their ages, since they've now been caught and freed from their pimp because they are an example to teenage sisters who were brought into this country and were given to Christopher Ramirez, who pimped them out all over America. They're from Honduras. And he moved them from Texas to California, forced them into prostitution. The youngest victim was placed in custody of the Department of Human Health and Human Services. This is when they caught the girls. They freed them in California. They're trying to track down 400,000 or 500,000 migrant children who were missing because of Joe Biden. The youngest sister, who's now 16, was taken into custody by the Department of Health and Human Services. The older girl, who was 18, was released because she said she's declining services or placement with a family. I hope, I don't know what to think about this. My first thought was, oh my God, she's already turned so hard that she just wants to be on her own. 18-year-old girl now from Honduras. They were some of the migrant children working in exploitative conditions in slaughterhouses and factories. Donald Trump has already reunited 5,000 unaccompanied migrant kids from this so-called safe guardians or family members who lied about it and were put into working in factories because the Biden administration, again, this is another disgusting, disgraceful, anti-human behavior by the former administration. Remember, they said, we will take your children, and we're going to make sure that they have a sponsor waiting for them in America. But they accepted everybody who said they were a sponsor. And remember, they caught that one person who signed up something like 2,000 sponsor vouchers saying, oh, yeah, I'm a legitimate sponsor. And the people who were taking, the clerks who were taking the sponsor certificates just accepted them. They said, oh, fine, you got a sponsor, great. And they came in, and then God knows where they ended up. But again, they allowed this to happen. They said, well, bring them in. Yeah, that's fine. We'll give them a sticker. Here's your sticker. Glad to see you got a sponsor. Well, there was no sponsor. They were rounding them up and putting them in factories or pimping them out for whores. I mean, my God. And the Biden administration did it on purpose. Nobody said, wait a minute, this isn't right. We're talking about children. 13, 14-year-old, 9, 4, 10-year-old girls. And I remember that little girl. I'll never forget this. I think it was, I forgot she said either. They said, how old are you, little girl? She said, I'm free. And held up free fingers. By herself, little note with her name on her coat. I mean, honestly, I'm going to cry about this. I just makes me so freaking mad. I want to strangle those bastards. Who the hell? What kind of a person? What kind of an individual in America today would say, "Oh yeah, I'm sure you're legit." Boom, click, you're in, without any concern for what happened to that child. I mean, one after another, hundreds of thousands. Honestly, and Homeland Security just saved these two sisters.
The same liberals that are sitting there making excuses for the parents of that 3-year-old for sending her off by herself so she could have a better life, and that they're just doing what's best for her in the long run, are the same people who told us that woman who died bringing Elian Gonzalez over in that raft from Cuba was detrimental to his health, and she could have got him killed.
His mother, yeah. Tried to bring him over. She died drowned in the trip. I mean, honestly, these are the same people who were so duplicitous. Again, the U.S. Aid Department, when people were applying for federal grants for hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, they were never turned down. I think it was the U.S. Aid Department, whoever was in charge of all those grants, never said no. Literally never said no. They just one after another, for years. I mean, and now they're being criticized for stopping it.
For pointing it out.
Honestly, I'm going nuts. Let's do one more Trump soundbite here, Flounder, and then after the news break at 4:30, we'll play some of the other ones from the interview with Terry Moran last night, which are hysterical. And I hate that we missed it because it happened right after we were getting off the air. That Donald Trump went to his rally, and so at the rally, somebody tried to pull a stunt, and there's always some although I'm surprised that it hasn't happened more often, to be honest with you. Although I think they're probably afraid they're going to get killed if they try to pull something at a Trump rally these days after remember, the Democrats tried to kill him twice and damn near killed him, but for about 2 inches the first time. So, I don't think anybody really smart enough, too clever enough to try to, do something physically violent against Donald Trump these days because he'd be killed. I'd have killed him myself. Anyway, so this one idiot last night started doing something and they kind of had to rustle the person out. So here's what, cut number 4 here, Flounder. Donald Trump was watching when all of a sudden something bad happened, and here's what he reacted to.
He's just a child. All right, get him out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Ma'am.
I thought it was a guy. Thank you. I'm sorry. I said he, and it's a she. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I was the same at the rally last night also. Scott Jennings was brought on stage, the conservative CNN commentator who just got a big fat raise from CNN because he's the one bringing people to even watch the idiot roundtable thing, whatever. I don't even know the name of what the show that he's on. I just know when he has a soundbite, we take it. And he was called up. Donald Trump called him up and delivered kind of a fun zinger at the Democrats. He said, Donald Trump said, he defends me all the time on CNN, defends me really well, but he can't go too far because he'll get fired. Well, he just signed a new contract, but so the president joked, oh, CNN, this is the end of Scott now. Well, during the rally celebration, Donald Trump called the commentator up to the podium, and Scott Jennings said, quote, Michigan, we were flying in here today, and I said, look at these farms. I've got to get a farm in Michigan, because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to get a place to put them all. Thank you very much, and walked away to the screaming crowd, because people see Scott Jennings owns the other members of that panel. And again, I do even know what the name of the show is. Is it? I don't know what it's called. I don't know when he's on or what. Because I'm not watching CNN ever. But I know if we ever get a soundbite sent down the line from Scott Jennings, we take it because he makes. I mean, he keeps handing them their hat. For example, remember he was talking to that former MSNBC chick Tiffany Cross, and they were talking about Donald Trump stuff. And Tiffany said, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. You're just irrelevant." And he said, "Hell, you got fired from your job. How irrelevant are you?" And one after another. I'm sorry you're getting emotional. The guy says, "Yeah, well, I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do." I mean, anyway, and now CNN's just giving him a big raise. They won't give him his own show, which is what he wants, but we'll keep you posted. Anyway,
he's on the show. I mean, his thing on X just says he's a CNN pundit and PR guy.
Yeah. But again, I don't even know if there's a specific time show or whatever, but he sure is good at what he does. Anyway, 4:31, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, how's your hump day? Join us if you'd like. As always, love taking phone calls. On we need WFOM radio. What does the FOM stand for? And we need a witch. We need a witch to come in and talk about Witch Day tomorrow, May 1st. Stand by. All righty, David Van Sant's ready for your call when somebody runs into you at a funny intersection. Again, I said there's a place right near my house, and I'm telling you, every few weeks, all of a sudden, there's something happens. And again, it's one of those things. It could be somebody's fault that didn't know they were at fault, stuff like that. So who are you going to argue with? Well, get David Van Sant to argue for you, because David used to work for the insurance companies. And again, I love insurance companies. I've used them I've been driving for 65 years or whatever it is. And so, I mean, who hasn't used them? But again, they have their little charts and tables, and they're going to get your policy, and they say, oh, we're going to do this for this. Well, what if you need an extra couple of rental day things because they didn't do a special thing, or you need a thing coming over from someplace? All that stuff. You want to argue with them, or have David call and argue with them? Don't forget, you're number one. If you don't get paid, he doesn't get paid. And he used to work. He knows all the tricks and all the stuff, and they know that he knows all the tricks and all the stuff. So when they see his name pop up on the phone screen, chances are your insurance company is going to have to pay a lot more than they want to. But it's fair. Insurance is complicated, but he's got his charts and tables too. And again, let him don't get in a fist fight, don't get in arguments. Let David do all this stuff for you, taking care of business, because it's too complicated to do on your own. Why would you want to? If you don't get paid, he doesn't get paid. Van Sant Law. Here's the number: 855-GA-INJURY. Online, vansantlaw.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the annual Duck Cluck event supporting Special Olympics Georgia. For just $10, you can adopt a rubber duck or grab a whole flock. Every dollar helps provide meals and housing for over 18,000 Special Olympics Georgia athletes. And if your duck is plucked, you can win some great prizes. Adopt your duck now at duckrace.com/Atlanta.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust, and the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes. So we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all, realestateagentsitrust.com.
No. Did we go back up to the one we missed earlier?
Almond Brothers.
I'm sorry?
Not yet.
Okay. So we got Twigs going on here, do we?
Correct.
Okay. Just double checking. I didn't recognize the intro, as you might expect. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 437. Play some more Donald Trump for you here in a minute. Excuse me? I didn't quite.
Southbound.
Southbound, coming home to something.
Girl, I'm coming home to you. Lord, I'm southbound.
Southbound, baby.
Lord, I'm coming home.
Okay, that's Twigs Linden, the road. Oh my, this is not a good one. 1970, Twigs Linden, the road manager for the Allman Brothers Band, was arrested for murder after he got in a fight with a club manager and stabbed him over an argument over the contract. At his trial, Linden's lawyers argued he'd been temporarily insane at the time of the incident and that touring with the Allman Brothers would drive anybody insane, and they found him innocent. Oh, my God. Well, Your Honor, look at this, man. Listen to these people. Man, that's... What a great lawyer. Holy criminy. He stabbed the guy to death and said, well, yeah, Allman Brothers, you can't listen to that crap all the time and messing up your head. Temporarily insane because of the Allman Brothers.
You can't use the word crap and Allman Brothers in the same sentence.
I know. That's not right. Exactly correct, sir. And now I shall end the teasing with you. I mentioned earlier that Kunal Navyar was Raj on The Big Bang Theory having a birthday. He's 44 today. I mentioned there's another member of the cast of The Big Bang Theory also with a birthday today, and that is Leonard from Big Bang and David on Roseanne. Johnny Galecki is 50 years old today. So there you are. And on this day in history, 1900 on this day, John Luther Casey was a railroad engineer in the Illinois Central Railroad. He was driving near Vaughan, Mississippi, and something bad happened. He was a folk hero because he was in Memphis, found out that the engineer supposed to make the return run that night for the track was sick. So Mr. Jones volunteered to take his place. He pulled out of the early morning hours of April 30th, running late, so he hurried to make up for lost time. The train rounded a curve near Vaughan, Mississippi, collided with another train on the tracks, but not before Casey Jones told his firemen to jump to safety. Jones remained on board to try to slow the train and save his passengers and was the only person to die in the accident. He was commemorated in a number of songs, and the legend, he died with one hand on the train's whistle and the other hand on the brake. The only person to die, Casey Jones, famous
There's
folk
a
hero.
little train museum for him in Water Valley, Mississippi. You can go.
Is that right? Yeah, it was Vaughan, Mississippi, I guess, nearby, and it came around the bend, and boom, 1900. Wow. That's 440. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. So you're going to hear some Donald Trump from last night here in a minute. Brings a chuckle to me. And speaking of chuckling, we got memes, and we got things like Pete's tweets, too.
By the way, Twigs Linden was touring with the Dixie Dregs in 1979, and he died in a skydiving incident up in New York, and they say it was very suspicious. Very suspicious.
As in somebody rigged his parachute kind of thing, you mean?
Don't know.
Ooh, that's very bad. Thank you.
Mike, the engineer, found this nugget of joy.
Yeah.
Al tweets, Islam has nothing to do with terrorists. Islam came into existence to eliminate terrorists. To which Aisha responds, Pornhub has nothing to do with porn. Pornhub came into existence only to eliminate porn. Scott says, once you understand why pizza is made round, packed in square box, and eaten as a triangle, then you will understand women.
Yeah, square box, round pizza, triangle slices.
Dave points this out, and it happened in the U.S. Senate, I believe, earlier today. Senator Chuck Schumer said Trump has the lowest 100-day approval rating since they started polling. 2 minutes later, CNN's Manu Raju told him, there's a poll out today that has your approval rating lower than any other congressional leader at 17%. To which Chuck Schumer replies, polls come and go. I mean, a sign on the road reads, now entering Ohio. Ask yourself what poor life choices led to this.
That's cold, man.
That is cold. Nobody sighs louder than an unemployed, debt-free dog who spends at least 16 hours a day sleeping. You notice that? And did you know if you rub a bit of olive oil and Epsom salt on the painful spots on your body, it will immediately feel greasier and saltier?
We used Epsom salts in bathtubs. If we were sore from something, my mother would put us in the bathtub with Epsom salts. It was we were a little boy with little kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's tweets for it.
Excellent. A quick Babylon Bee headline, which I thought was amusing. We've been talking a lot about Europe lately. Europe promises to get the electricity back up ASAP so everyone can hear the Muslim call to prayer. Anyway.
Did you see where Spain a week ago was bragging they were just completely not in renewable energy with solar and wind power?
Yeah.
And 5 days later, the entire grid goes down because some climate problem. Well, what, did it get cloudy for a day?
Yeah. You know, if we only knew the truth about the politics of, I mean, just...
It only affects the Western countries. It doesn't affect China. It doesn't affect Russia or India. It doesn't affect them. It only affects the West. It's like multiculturalism and diversity only affects the West.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Oh, I'm getting a call from my mechanic. Oh, sorry, Scott. I didn't mean to turn down the phone. I don't want to shut it off. You'll leave a message. They probably want me to bring my car back up. I'm supposed to take it back, but I don't feel like it because I know I've only got a couple little things I got to have done, but I don't feel like leaving it for having they come and pick it up. It's a great story. I mean, they come pick it up and bring me a loaner and then bring the car back when it's done. But I don't.
So what's the problem?
Well, it takes if they come and get it, so I don't have it for that day, and I don't have it for the next day, and I don't want to not have my car for one little silly thing that they want to fix for me, and I don't. I would rather not do that. In fact, I thought today when I drive to work and go back home again, I drive through a golf course community. A couple of different routes in place for a golf course community. And, of course, that makes me remember when I actually lived in a golf course community had a family and a job and everything else. Haven't had money and all that stuff. Yeah. And I remember if I hit the lottery, one of the first things I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to give it all to my kids and Marines and stuff. And you guys get a couple of million. But the first thing I'm going to do is buy the Al Chervik's Rolls-Royce Caddyshack horn when he pulls up to the golf shop. like that, and play that as I drive into the golfing neighborhood. This guy's on the green, he get approaching his putt or something, and go blasting through there with a Caddyshack horn, which I had on that hot rod that I got screwed up by two Atlanta builders when I was retired and had that hot rod. It was going to be the last car I ever bought, and they screwed me so bad I sold it I lost a fortune. It screwed me forever. I should sue all of them. Sorry, anyway. The camera's not good with. Everything I've had, I've lost. I lost. Everything I've done, I've been screwed. I lost my. Well, whatever. I don't know what I did wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I believed people. And so anyway, well, that's silly me.
People like winner, Kimmer.
I know.
They don't feel sorry for himself.
No, they don't like that kind of Kimmer. Like the happy, good Kimmer who's done things.
And been somebody.
Wish I could think of something at the moment. It's just a life cycle, my friends. All is good. I'm smiling and laughing and glad to be walking upright and mobile. It's 4:45, and by the way, I pretty much talked my hernia out of operation. I've almost gotten rid of it just mentally. I can't believe it. I even 3:30 in the morning, I'm saying, boy, it's almost, I'm so proud. Talk about mind control, baby. Look out. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing?
Get connected to Extra 106.3 on all your favorite apps. Then download ours and stream the station across Georgia. We're live online at extra1063.com. Stream live video from the studios on YouTube. And of course, Kimmer, Bortz, and your favorite Extra shows in crystal clear digital on the Extra 106.3 app.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. You know, a great smile can make you more successful as well as make you happy. Yes, it's true. And your smile's waiting for you at my dentist, Dr. Dina Giesler, my friend for 30 years and dentist forever. This woman at Atlanta Smiles, atlantasmiles.com, the dentist with a doggy. It's really true, whether it's just regular cleaning or bridges or crowns or are your teeth bothering a little bit, maybe a little ache or something, or your gums it's not going to get better on its own. Take it from me, I found that out the hard way. Taking care of your teeth and gums and everybody's happy. And by the way, you can relax with Dr. Dina. This is an individual, private VIP experience. The latest technology. She used AI to get my last thing done at my last visit. And don't forget the doggy. She's a little doggy to take a nap in your lap while you're getting your work done. And this staff, these ladies are angels, I promise you. You'll love going there. A veteran herself, Dr. Dina, 10% veterans discount off the top. Tell them when you call. 404-262-7733. Your smile's waiting. Get the doggy at atlantasmiles.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes. After that transformation, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
Computer froze, so this is just some standard music. Sorry.
Okay, well, that's all right. That's a little old. Early, though. This is Dwayne Eddy or somebody, right? Cool. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 4:51. We're going to play some Donald Trump stuff here. Is your board okay, or are we? If we have a problem in there, Flounder?
We're good.
Okay. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? We'll have more about the music later on. Is this Dwayne Eddy?
Here we go. No.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Here we go. Give Peace a Chance. 2008. Gail Renard was given the handwritten lyrics to Give Peace a Chance by John Lennon in 1969. In 2008, he announced plans to sell the sheet at Christie's auction. At the time, John Lennon told Renard to hang on to this piece of paper, saying it'll be worth something someday. Yeah, well, the handwritten lyrics to Give Peace a Chance were expected to fetch about $400,000. Actually, it got about $800,000 in 2008 because he held on to it from 1969. John Lennon. Our birthday list includes another hottie out there, Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst is 43. She was Mary Jane in the old Spider-Man trilogy, but she's been in a million movies and TV shows, and she was in a rather bizarre movie, which I did enjoy. It was really bizarre and funny, and it was from a bizarre point of view of Richard Nixon's presidency, and the movie was called Dick, D-I-C-K, with Kirsten Dunst and some other, and it was very amusing. It was, if you have a chance to see it, I enjoyed it. It was a funny, goofy movie. And from the standpoint, and I can't remember the character's name, you'd know the guy who played Nixon, a real gruff, grumpy kind of character, but it was a really interesting, the way they did the Nixon presidency from a different standpoint, from the point of teenage girls. And it was really, and how they misunderstood everything. And I mean, it was really clever. It was really clever, really well done. Just for the record. All right, 4:53. The heck with the history thing. Let's do sound bites here, Flounder. If you missed it last night, let's do cut number one here. Donald Trump on with Terry Moran. Terry Moran trying to, he asked everything in a negative way. For example, he instead of saying, Mr. President, it seems like the world is really impressed with how you're doing so far and our world opinion and reputation, and instead he tried to make a negative thing about how bad we're doing. Cut number one, Flounder, if you would, sir.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency? No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news. All right. Thank you. And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
During the entire thing, every time Donald Trump started slamming him and calling things the way they should be called, he said, "Oh, let's move on." Okay, let's move on. I mean, it's pretty funny. In fact, you got another example. Terry Moran argued about tariffs and about immigration and everything else. And when they got to the subject of this guy Garcia, the wife-beating, human trafficking gangbanger member of MS-13 with the tattoos and everything else, cut number three. This is how Donald Trump had finally had it up to here. Flounder, if you would.
Gang And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted.
I mean, I can't believe it. And then again, this was last night. And then today, Donald Trump has a 2-hour public welcome to watch on live national television cabinet meeting, open up to the media. I don't think anyone's ever done that in the history of cabinet meetings. Do you know anyone who's ever had a live, I mean, a pool reporter covering what they talked about is one thing, and press reporters, stuff like that, but live TV cameras on satellite feed to the world, live for 2.5 hours almost? And then after that, then he met the press. He just had like another news conference live. What do you want to know, boy? I mean, it was unbelievable, this man. Honestly, I don't know why there's anything negative about him. Clearly he's taken control. He keeps explaining what he's doing that's best for the country. How many times does he have to say there are trillions of dollars of companies' investments already pledged coming in? They're going to be here. They're coming back. They want our buildings and businesses and factories. They're trillions of dollars. Anyway, I mean, this is amazing to me. A little floater's funnies there for you, sir. What do you got there?
The problem, as I see it, we're all good people. I love the country. I love the people in the country. I love the people. The problem is we're all looking at the same thing from different perspectives, okay? That's the main problem. I'm a big boxing fan. So I'm watching boxing. Example, I'm watching boxing. There's a female boxer. First of all, she's a boxer. Her brother is the promoter. So they ask her, how did you start boxing? And it's a tragic story. She goes, I watched my father hit my mother when I was young. I was too weak to do anything about it, so I learned to box, and it never happened again. I'm like, that's powerful, you know? But then I thought, the brother, the promoter, grew up in the same house. He must have saw the same thing and thought to himself, I can sell tickets to this.
That sounds like a Jesselnick, but it's not. I know it's not. But
his name is Mike, what is it? Mike Vecahone.
That's the kind of humor that Jesselnick does all the time. That has that kind of weird twist at the end. I can make money off of this. Remember about the guy who did the bit about Special Olympics?
Shane Gillis.
Oh man, I mean, I still feel guilty about laughing at that bit. Anyway, more savings from Doge, and again, let's try to have the murderers want to take care of Elon Musk. And God forbid they find more money that's being wasted. Doge and the Treasury Department have discovered $334 million in improper payments flagged because they didn't have the budget code or an invalid budget code or budget code without authorization. An example of a budget code without authorization, if the budget had already been fully spent, but they got requests for more of it. Doge is learning an identification code linking the Treasury payments to a budget line item that accounted for nearly $4.7 trillion in payments, which is left blank so you can't trace it. I don't even understand what I just read. Can you imagine trying to be the person or the people in charge of the government spending and the government's books? No wonder I don't know how you could do this. An ID code linking Treasury to $4.7 trillion in payments that are left blank frequently so they can't trace any of it. Where's the money going? And by the way, for little boys and girls, $1 trillion, if you count to 1 million, it would take you 12 days. If you count to $1 trillion, it would take you 32,000 years. That's how big $1 trillion is. Anyway, Kimmer Pete and Flounders coming up at 5 o'clock. Holy crap, and sports coming up, too. It's going to be fun. More Belichick in the news. Oh, my God. Here we go. Look out. It's 5 o'clock.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
April ends with reassurance at the White House. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump says he had to reset the table on trade and that his policies, including tariffs, are driving big investments in the U.S.
After 2 months, we have $8 trillion. There's never been a number like that. And that includes chip companies, car companies, every form of manufacturing, high-tech companies.
This after a new report showing the first contraction in 3 years for the U.S. economy, shrinking instead of growing in the first quarter by 0.3%. The president says he's cleaning up a mess left by his predecessor. And during a morning plunge on Wall Street, posted, "This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's."
This is not Joe Biden's economy, Donald. It is your economy. It is the Trump economy. It is a failed economy.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and other Democrats in Congress vowing to win the midterms and change course. But the Trump administration argues other numbers in today's report show strength.
There's many components of GDP, so I wouldn't read too much into one quarter. And we're in the middle of sausage making right now, right? We're sort of restructuring global trade and how funds flow.
U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright, as Republicans in Congress work on tax cuts and spending cuts that Democrats say will end up gutting Medicare, which the president denies. Palestinian grad student Mohsen Madawi, arrested by ICE agents earlier this month, says he's not afraid of the president after a federal judge in Vermont released him.
We, the people, will hold the Constitution accountable for the principles and values that we believe in.
His attorneys say he was detained over free speech after he founded a student group with Mahmoud Khalil, another Columbia grad student with a green card who's been fighting deportation, accused by the Trump administration of leading disruptive protests and supporting Hamas. America is listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily. It helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of leg, ready on your dog target. Road guards out. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How's it going? With Pete Davis and Flounder. And you at 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We're still looking for ideas for what our call letters at the station WFOM actually stands for. Flying over me. This could be a silly thing here. The only farm in Atlanta that doesn't really suck. I think it's pretty. If you need farms, you need extra 106.3, stuff like that. And we need a witch. We need a witch to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Witch Day, Wiccan Witch Day on May 1st, Maypole Day.
Beltane.
Beltane, is that what it is? Actually, and that's
one of the
and what is that?
Four Celtic holidays of the year.
Aha. Celtic being from what year are we talking about? Back
thousands
2,000 years ago?
Thousands of years.
1,000 years ago. And again, May Day, Mayflower May Day, made the maypole business was a little. And in grade school, we all had the colored crepe paper maypole, and we walked around the maypole thinking that we were celebrating the rites of spring or something. And I don't know. Anyway, so tomorrow. By the way, it's May 1st tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flounder, are you trying to get me? Or
we got Rick the Painter on the horn.
Rick the Painter, it's 5:05, and we were waiting all day for you, man. What's going on? How are you? What's up?
Hey, Kimmer. Hey, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, before I get to what I was going to say, that was entertainment last night.
Oh, man. Was that beautiful or what?
Kimmer, it was funny. Anyway, it was all that entertaining. But anyway, for Easter, my granddaddy wanted me to go to church with him.
Yeah, church.
And I went with him on Easter weekend. So it was the first time I'd been to his church. It was down on the south side. So I said, sure, I'll come down, Granddaddy. And I got down there, and we got in there, and the preacher was doing his sermon, and he came up to me, and he goes, "Today you will walk." And I went, "Oh, he's just, he must be mistaken." But I didn't. And the sermon kept going, and again, he came up to me again, and he says, "Son, today you will walk." He had his hands on my shoulder this time, and I went, I know he must be mistaken for sure, but I didn't say anything, of course. Anyway, the service was finally over, and we got through. I went out to the parking lot, and my car was gone.
So you had to walk home because the car was here driving, and had to walk. Wow! Whoo! Holy moly!
Baldwin's a pretty cool name.
Baldwin is a pretty cool name, really.
Yeah, it's the opposite of hair loss.
Baldwin, hair loss. But see, the balding one, but the hair loss. Hey. And now Babylon B reminds us that global birth rates hit historic low as Elon Musk busy with Doge. That's right. Donald Trump issuing new striped robes for federal judges. Joe Biden arrested for harboring 11 million illegal aliens. Yeah, give me a break. Anyway.
You want to hear a bad joke?
I do.
All right, there's an Englishman. He's driving down the road. He's got the van full of monkeys.
An Englishman, did you say? An Englishman?
Yeah, the van breaks down. Yeah. So he's sitting there looking at the van. What am I going to do? And all of a sudden, an Irishman comes by in his empty van.
Yeah.
And the Englishman waves him down and says, "Look, Patty, I'll pay you 50 quid if you take these monkeys to the zoo."
Cool.
And Patty goes, "Okay, fine." He takes 50 quid. They load up the monkeys, and off he goes. Yeah. Well, a couple hours later, the Englishman's still there trying to fix the van when he sees coming back from the opposite direction is Patty. Same van, and still has the monkeys in the van.
So he
flags them down. Still has the monkeys in the van. Yeah. So he flags them down and says, "Hey, Patty, I gave you 50 quid to take these monkeys to the zoo." And then Patty says, "Well, yeah, that's great, but we had a few quid left over, so now I'm taking them to the movies."
Take them to the movies, ladies and gentlemen. So take them to the zoo. Thank you. Oh, hey. 507, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230. 741-123. I almost bought a pack of Luckies the other day. I bring I bring mints to the stable on Saturday and Sunday. I go to visit the stable and do my videos of horses, and I try to bring some mints for the horses, and also the ones I use. And they're special round mints, and they're funny. They're called Bobs or something, and they're not really hard, flat hard candy mints. They're softer, so they don't hurt horses' teeth or anything. And I use them myself. Well, the ones I give you when you come in. And
I noticed you bring the same ones you bring to the horses.
Exactly, they're great. They're great mints. But nobody sells them, and you can't find them anymore. And Publix and they just don't have them. They're called Bob's Softies or something like that, or Stripes, Bob's Stripes or something like that. But they don't sell them anymore, so I have to go to Walgreens and get a different brand that are kind of like that. And as I was going to Walgreens, the only place I can get these freaking mint, the style that I like, that are good for the horses and myself. And I'm up at the counter, and all of a sudden I see this pack of Lucky Strikes. I think it's the first packs of Lucky Strikes I've seen in a shelving unit at a store in years. I mean, they still have, Winston and Marlboro and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever seen a pack of Luckies. My buddy, Mike Summers, I used to work with, sent me a pack years ago, and I still have that pack. But I got very tempted all of a sudden to just buy a pack of Luckies, because that was my cigarette, man. Smoked 4 packs of those babies a day in the Marines. 4 packs of Luckies a day. And I thought I wanted to buy a pack of Luckies just to, I got my chopper. I take a picture of me with a cigarette hanging out of my mouth on my chopper and post it. Call it a day. Anyway. 509, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. More about the MS gang thing. And by the way, I can't believe, are the Democrats really saying that we need to bring this gangbanger, wife-beater, human trafficker back because we can't prove that was really an MS-13 gang symbol on his hand? That it could mean something else. I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, Lindsey Graham had some fun with some of these freaking Democrats during their committee meeting on drug enforcement stuff. The confirmation hearing for the Drug Enforcement Administrator, Terrence Cole, was at the meeting with Senator Lindsey Graham produced a photo of this guy, Garcia, the one they sent to El Salvador with the gang tattoos. Lindsey said, are you familiar? This guy going to be the DEA director. Said, are you familiar with MS-13? Briefly, what are the signs of the tattoos for MS-13? And he said, MS-13 is a terrorist organization, extortion, kidnapping, drugs, and money laundering, da-da-da-da-da. He said, do members have membership cards or anything like that to identify themselves? So, well, he said, yeah, they don't have cards, but they have tattoos. Well-recognized tattoos and different things like that. So Lindsey Graham showed a picture and said, could you translate this? He said, yeah. Based on your experience, what do these markings suggest to you? Oh, they suggest that he's an MS-13 gang member. Those are his markings. That's his brand. What does the leaf on the first knuckle stand for? Guy says, oh, that's for marijuana, which starts with an M. The second finger has a smiley face, which starts with an S. For, MS-13, followed by the number 1, and then the backwards S from here. So based on your time as a DEA agent in the field, in Mexico in particular, are these tattoos consistent with MS-13 association? Yes, sir, that's correct. Could there be other organizations that might use the same thing? He said, no, there aren't any other groups. Yeah, Mothers for Society, and we're group 13. Yeah, stuff like that. Anyway, he has MS-13 on his knuckles here. Donald Trump had to argue with Terry Moran last night about it. And so Terry Moran kept saying, well, it's open to interpretation. It was photoshopped. I mean, what are they thinking? How could he in good conscience even not to say, boy, Mr. Trump, I'm sure glad we have you as president, not being able to be hornswoggled by these fakers. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Because they're for them. They're for them, not for us. They're for them, the criminals.
It is literally hard to believe. After all has been revealed, and again, compare what Donald Trump's doing, opening up everything publicly all day, every night. I mean, it's just unbelievable, to the last 4 years. It's just, and the media isn't falling all over themselves apologizing. They're a bunch of freaking traitors. They tried to harm America, and they're still not owning up to it. And they never will. Anyway, 512, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. I don't even know if we should talk about Bill Belichick again, but he's back in the news. And also, latest news on your Atlanta Falcons and a prank that went bad. Anyway, Pete Davis sells all that stuff. Holy Crap at Sports is coming up next. Coming up on 513 on 106.3 WFOM, the Farm of Atlanta. Come up with a new slogan.
If you love 106.3, then you'll love the all-new Extra 106.3 app. It's loaded with replays of your favorite shows like The Morning Extra and The Kimmer Show, podcasts from conservative voices across the South, and access to Extra's crystal clear live stream from anywhere in Georgia. Grab it now for Apple or Android.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year, warm, maybe keeping your windows open for the burglars, Silly. Well, get yourself some safekeeping things like from Atlanta Safe House, as in the safes you've always wanted. You know, I know people, believe me, before I actually got my first safe from Atlanta Safe House, it's the kind of thing you think about and say, boy, this, it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, a little thing you spin it down like a bank or stuff. But seriously, keeping your stuff. And I found out the hard way, losing my medical records in Florida, and cost me, again, I know I'm not alone. But whether it's because of thieves and stuff or just keeping things in place where you can find them. And even things like pictures and stuff that I save for my kids, stuff you want to take care of. Aside from cash and jewelry and guns, all gun safes, you do not have to pay any sales tax, by the way, at Atlanta Safe House. And incidentally, they have a showroom in Akron. I'd love for you to stop up there and take a look around. They have like 200 safes, almost 200 safes right there ready to go. Then they can design them inside any way you want for stuff you want to keep or save or whatever. Jeff and Mark, the whole gang, these are patriot, God-fearing, country-loving Americans, I can tell you that, protecting your rights the same way they're protecting your stuff. Tell them the Kimber sent you. The showroom in Akron and on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Atlanta Braves fans, May is Military Appreciation Month, and a great time to show your patriotism by purchasing a VIP table at the Warrior Alliance 4th Annual Veteran Impact Awards and Gala. The event will be held on Thursday, May 22nd at the Coca-Cola Roxy Theater at the Battery Atlanta and features dining, live entertainment, and Georgia-based veterans being honored for the significant contributions they are making in our communities. Purchase your VIP table today or make a donation at thewarrioralliance.org.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Crime is at an all-time high, and it might get worse before it gets any better. You might already own a firearm, but we should always start with less lethal to avoid the financial and mental repercussions of pulling the trigger. This is where Byrna comes into the picture. That's BYRNA. Byrna's less lethal launchers are equipped with tear gas and kinetic ammunition and designed to incapacitate an attacker for up to 40 minutes. Byrna, they're excited to introduce their all-new, sleek, compact launcher. It's slim, it hits like a sledgehammer. It's the same size as a smartphone, allowing you to conceal carry everywhere, comfortably, with confidence. It fires at 400 feet per second with 41 joules per square inch of stopping power to stop aggressors in their tracks without having to deal with all the complexities of a homicide. Byrna, legal in all 50 states, requires no background checks and can be shipped directly to your door. Byrna, proud to be made in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Try before you buy. Visit Byrna.com. To find a Byrna dealer partner near you, it's at Byrna.com.
A woman in Vancouver, Colombia had her first of her triplets born on this day in 1993 and has now set the record for the time between birth of the rest of them. The other two triplets weren't born for 45 days. And now, sponsored by RBM of Atlanta, Holy Crap in Sports with Pete Davis.
Braves and Rockies in the rubber game in Denver this afternoon. Michael Harris II, the lone Atlanta RBI so far. Chris Sale, 7 strong innings, gave up just 5 hits and 2 earned runs while walking nobody and striking out 10.
Wow.
His longest outing this season and first quality start.
Excellent.
But he's getting absolutely no support. It's 1 out in the top of the 9th, and Braves are losing 2-1. And they're about to do something unheard of in Coors Field. They're playing 3 games and not hit 1 home run.
Wow. I wonder if that's ever happened.
But
that altitude up there? Wow.
They've already won the first 2, so they've won the series, but they did it without hitting a home run, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But right now, 2-1, Rockies in the top of the first with 1 out, Matt Olson up to bat. Well, last night, the Bravos won the series by spanking Colorado 8-2. A.J. Smith-Shawver pitched great until he was hit in the pitching arm. A 105-mile-per-hour line drive had to leave the game. Says it got him on the meaty part, and he's feeling okay. A.J. improves to 1-2 by going 5 1/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits last night, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. The bullpen shut out the Rockies down the rest of the way. And for the second straight night, the Braves won without benefit of home run, as we were just talking. But Eli White had another triple and could have had 2.
Man, he's on fire. This is great. Good. What a great find.
Yeah. German Marquez took the loss to fall to 0-5 last night, and now there's 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and the Braves losing 2-1. The NFL came down on the Falcons like a $1,000,000 crap hammer, finding the team $250,000 American dollars, and personally docking DC Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 for his role in Shadurgate. The official line is that Jeff's son Jack saw Shadur Sanders' personal cell phone number on the coach's open iPad and later prank called the Colorado quarterback during the draft. Now, $100K seems rather excessive for this and makes you think there's more to the story. But as always, it's another black eye, self-inflicted, only snake-bit organization. And the league is probably sending a message that it's tired of having to investigate the Falcons. This is the 3rd time in 3 years. The official reason for the big fine, though, is for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft. So, how do you punish a 21-year-old son who just cost your family $100,000?
Yeah. This is a father-son teaching moment. I mean, and I don't know their dynamics of their relationship or anything else. I know what my father probably would have done, and I'll bet your dad. I don't know. I mean, I'm just well, here we go. I wonder what's going to happen, if anything.
I'd take him out of school. I'd take him out of school and make him start working, try to pay back some of this. That's a lot of money, even for an NFL coach. And Jeff Ulbrich just held a news conference, and he says, we're taking sole responsibility. We're not going to appeal the fine. It's absolutely just. We did it. We're going to change, how I deal, with information. I screwed up, and my son screwed up. And we called, and he apologized to both Shadur and Coach Sanders, says they were both gracious, more gracious, he said, than they could have been in this situation.
They've done the right thing.
Probably should have been.
They both have done the right thing, but he could have been fired. The coach could have been fired if it was that serious to the confidential information deal. So anyway.
And of course, this news overshadows the better news. The team picking up the 5th-year option of star receiver Drake London. He's now locked up to the 2026 season.
Man, really I remember telling you about all those great catches I saw with this guy, and to me, all of a sudden came out of nowhere. I said, "Boy, how come we not using him more?" I mean, he made some spectacular plays.
No, he's doing great. He's doing great right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
The best thing they got to throw to right now. And the Braves have just fallen 2-1. But they took 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's good.
They've been winning series.
Keep doing that. You'll be fine. You'll be in the playoffs.
And they could have reached 500. They started 0-7. They could have reached 500 with a win today.
Excellent.
That's just amazing.
Good.
Anyway, Hall of Fame quarterback John Elway, the driver of a golf cart, his business partner and former agent fell from the vehicle, fell off the back of it, has suffered life-threatening injuries, and he has since died.
Oh, my God. A golf cart?
Yes, Jeff Spurbeck, longtime friend of Elway's, was on life support until they found organ recipients. The 61-year-old fell off the golf cart and hit his head on the asphalt Saturday in La Quinta, California. They were coming back from a party after going to a concert. There is no indication Elway was driving negligently, but now they're saying that there is an investigation going on, and he's the focus of it. Something gone on, and basically He fell out the back and hit his head, and they said his wife was inconsolable and everything.
Oh,
and
man.
It's just a mess.
Does it show the golf cart? Is it one of those kind of passenger big time Charlie things, or was he hanging on the back with other people riding in it? I wonder. I mean, that makes a lot of difference in how
You
he's
think
gonna
he was
fall.
probably standing up on the back to hit his head that hard by falling off of it.
But again, it could be one of those car carts and not a golf cart type thing. But I don't know. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah. The Hawks' Zachary Shea came in second in the NBA Rookie of the Year balloting to some tool from San Antonio. I know that crushes you. You're a big fan of Zachary. Looks like the Utah Hockey Club of the NHL has finally decided on its name. It is the Utah Mammoth.
Okay.
Well, there's worse names.
Well, there are worse names, yeah.
They were going to do the Utah Hockey Club, which is pretty stupid. That's like a soccer thing.
Well, it could have been the Cardinal.
This has been leaked. It's not set in stone.
The Utah
unlike mammoths who are set in ice, it's not set in stone.
And is it because of the mammoths found in Utah, places like that, prehistoric things, I'm guessing, from glaciers and stuff? Why mammoth?
I don't know.
You think they would have an
ice,
explanation or something?
You see mammoths in ice all the time, according to the drawings. And you can expect an elephant trumpeting after every goal.
Well,
I
there
can
you
see
are.
it. I can see it. Some upstate, is that what elephants sound like?
Kind of, yeah.
Dun, 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 like it's the margarine commercial?
Yes, they do.
Butter. Imperial. Some upstate New York high schoolers are in trouble for a hazing incident gone awry. They could face kidnapping charges if they don't turn themselves in after staging an armed abduction of younger players.
Oh, boy.
Members of the lacrosse program, it's always lacrosse, at West Hill High School in suburban Syracuse, planned a team trip to McDonald's that ended with one player being tied up, blindfolded, and put into a trunk, which wouldn't be a room in your trunk. But
no, that's bad.
The alleged victim was led to believe he'd be abandoned in a remote area, but was returned to his home without being physically harmed. Now, I cannot adequately express to this community the level of stupidity and lack of judgment involved in this case, local DA Bill Fitzpatrick said. A person driving 5 younger players on the team pretended to get lost, pulled over in a place where other participants in a prank lay in wait, armed with at least one knife and a weapon that appears to be a gun. That's when the students launched the fake abduction. Although the student was not hurt physically, emotionally, that's going to be long-term, the DA says. This is not lighting a bag on fire on Halloween and sticking it in your driveway. This is criminal activity, he said, adding that it could have led to a fatal shooting if the police had come across the scene and seen a kid with a hood over his head being abducted at gunpoint. And once again, these narcissistic morons videotaped them doing it.
Oh, man.
And 11 people have been identified in the plot. Those who do not turn themselves in by tomorrow are going to face felony charges. And Fitzpatrick says, don't come crying to me 2 weeks from now and say, you charged my little baby with kidnapping. Yeah, that's right. Most of my prosecutors can win cases that are on videotape.
Yeah, good Lord.
I love how he said most of his prosecutors.
But again, think about the idiocy. How could they not possibly know that a prank on video that they're going to share with friends isn't going to be a thing?
Kimmer, this is the dumbest generation that we've all, as a village, have raised.
But I know, but you think if anybody knew the lesson to be learned, it would be the people who were doing it. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I know. Co-worker Clay Travis says Nike is behind a very sinister plan that will harm children. A study, which is reportedly being funded in part by the sports apparel giant, tracks the athletic performance of trans-identifying children given puberty blockers and hormone therapy. Researchers aim to determine whether suppressing male puberty early enough can eliminate biological advantages in female sports, which is a premise Outkick.com founder and radio talk show host Travis calls reprehensible and indefensible. They're trying to get them so young, like toddlers, that they can negate, they think, the biology of this, of nature and God.
Yeah.
This is interesting since so many on the left claim there's no biological advantage for boys, yet at the same time studying ways to stop boys from having a biological advantage they claim doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
We're dealing with pure evil here. They're seeing how young they can start injecting and whopping off these kids' cojones in order so they can compete in volleyball later or running and all that mess.
And again, somebody had to come up with this idea to say, gee, let's discover this and how we can use this information. I mean, even just the thought of it. And again, by the way, this is Nike right after a couple of days before they put up their sign after the marathon in London saying, never again until next year. You know, kind of mocking the Jewish Holocaust slogans. Yeah. God, Lord.
Pure evil. All this stuff is. And now interim North Carolina Bill Belichick coach, has issued a statement blaming CBS for the debacle. That was his interview the other day, the one where his young girlfriend literally stole the show. Chapel Bill says the interviewer refused to stick to the subject of his new book, which is his coaching career, not his exciting personal life. I give this experiment 1 year before they part ways, if not sooner. Well, and I'm talking about the boy and the girl and the college and the coach.
And the other thing is, as a media people, and you'll know this too, Pete, again, Bill Belichick, when he was asked to do an interview, he said, I'll do an interview with you about my book. I don't want to talk about anything else. Now, first of all, if you're an interviewer, say, are you kidding me? The story on you is that 24-year-old hottie you're hanging around with. You don't think I'm going to talk about your relationship and how that went and why she's so special and what makes her 24 years old, the kind of woman that you'd be attracted to as a mentally, I mean, there's a million things you could ask about a relationship from a guy that powerful and that, successful, and a young girl who apparently tamed him for something. And instead, so the CBS agreed to not ask anything except about the book. First of all, shame on you if you made a deal like that. We don't make deals like that. If someone wants to do an interview with me, I'm not telling what I'm not going to ask him we don't make deals like that. So shame on CBS for doing it. And what an idiot Belichick thinks if he thinks they're never going to talk about anything else but his book. Tell me about chapter 4, Bill. I mean, no one does that. So the whole thing was ridiculous. I mean, seriously, what are people thinking? They're all idiots. Anyway, I'm sorry. I bet you agree with that. Do you disagree with anything I just said?
If you're doing a sports interview with a sports entity, then it'll talk about the book. If you're doing CBS The Good Morning Show, you know damn well they're not going to talk about your coaching career for most of the interview.
Especially since they just had everything in the news lately has been about him and his 24-year-old girlfriend. I mean, come on. Anyway, I thought it was kind of bizarre. All right, 5:30. More. We got more of this, a little more sports stuff, including a farewell on the last day of something special. And why me? Why me? All coming up. Karen, Pete, and Flounder out here. Hump day, baby. Look out. Here we go. Look out. 5:30.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year, warm, maybe keeping your windows open for the burglars, Silly. Well, get yourself some safekeeping things like from Atlanta Safe House, as in the safes you've always wanted. I know people, believe me, before I actually got my first safe from Atlanta Safe House, it's the kind of thing you think about and say, boy, this, it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, a little thing you spin it down like a bank or stuff. But seriously, keeping your stuff, and I found out the hard way, losing my medical records in Florida, and cost me, again, I know I'm not alone. But whether it's because of thieves and stuff or just keeping things in place where you can find them. And even things like pictures and stuff that I'd say for my kids, stuff you want to take care of. Aside from cash and jewelry and guns, all gun safes, you do not have to pay any sales tax, by the way, at Atlanta Safe House. And incidentally, they have a showroom in Akron. They'd love for you to stop up there and take a look around. They have like 200 safes, almost 200 safes right there ready to go. Then they can design them inside any way you want for stuff you want to keep or save or whatever. Jeff and Mark, the whole gang, these are patriot, God-fearing, country-loving Americans, I can tell you that, protecting your rights the same way they're protecting your stuff. Tell them the Kimber sent you. The showroom in Akron and on the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Want the truth about shopping for new floors? Big box stores might have flooring departments, but Empire Today has flooring experts. There's a huge difference. At a big box store, you might be getting help from someone who's in flooring today, but was stocking toilets yesterday. With Empire, you'll work with a dedicated flooring expert. We bring the store to your home, help find the right floors for your lifestyle, and answer questions. All while you view hundreds of samples with your own furniture, decor, and lighting. You'll get an all-inclusive price estimate and can schedule installation as soon as the next day for in-stock styles. That's Empire's Home Floor Advantage, working with experts who specialize in one thing: flooring. For a limited time, use code RADIO to get $500 off your contract of $3,500 or more when you call or visit EmpireToday.com. That's $500 off with code RADIO. You know the number.
800-588-2300
Today. Offer may not be applied to sales or combined with other coupons, discounts, or savings. Terms apply.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well, because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
The legend, Neil Bortz, is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Pete, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Joe Biden, when he was president, would send planes south of the border, load them up with illegals, and fly them into the United States, avoiding border checks. Trump just did the opposite. Once again, the worthlessness of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party on display, and the courage and determination of Donald Trump responding to the weakness of Joe Biden. They were child sexual predators, accused of kidnapping, assault, being pimps, robbery, aggravated assault of police officers. They're now in that terrorist holding facility in El Salvador. Love it. Just imagine the anguish of Democrats and progs and Joe Biden and his henchmen as they watch their master plot being destroyed.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
I got the xylophone on this one here. 1966.
Marimba.
The Rolling Stones' fourth album, Aftermath, went to number one. Group's third UK number one album, considered an artistic breakthrough for the band, is the first to consist entirely of Jagger Richards compositions. Brian Jones played a variety of instruments not usually associated with their music, including sitar, Appalachian dulcimer. Dulcimer is like a harmonica, isn't it?
Isn't that thing you sit down and...
Oh, I thought that was like a mini clarinet or something. Dulcimer. You could be right. Marimbas and Japanese koto. Oh, the dulcimer's a xylophone. Okay. There you go. Rolling Stones, Aftermath, that one, number one, 1966. And sports birthday here, Pete Davis, which we overlooked earlier. Isaiah Thomas, former NBA star, former NBA coach. Isaiah is 64 years old today.
A dulcimer is a trapezoidal zither, which it's like flat. You play it in front.
And
of
it's like it's got it's a xylophone where you ding ding, you take a little drummy thing.
No, it's a stringed instrument.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's
nothing to do with xylophones or marimbas or anything. No.
Oh, so it's okay. I think I know.
Like
I've seen them. I think when I was a kid, they had music. We had music class, and I think somebody brought in one of those where it sits down flat, almost like you open up a piano. You can see the strings in the piano flat.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bowling pin shape, and then it's got strings on it.
I think I know what you're talking about. And on this day in sports history, Pete Davis, it was 1993. Monica Seles, playing a match in Hamburg, ranked number 1 in the world, had just won 8 major events in a row, and she was sitting on the sidelines. Monica Seles was the woman back in the 90s who grunted every time she hit a shot. She'd go, "Whoa!" And they used to make fun of her. She took over Steffi Graf as a top-ranked women's player, and Monica Seles was sitting on the courtside seat during a changeover in her match on this day in 1993, 19 years old, and an idiot German psychopath reached over the fence and stabbed her between the shoulder blades with a knife. They caught him. He was a psycho. He got convicted, and the judge gave him 2 years suspended sentence. Well, the Monica people went nuts, and they put him back on trial a second time, and he got convicted again, and they still gave him a suspended sentence. I mean, good grief.
This is why it's not funny when these idiots run into fields and stuff like that. It's not funny.
Stabbed her in the back with a knife. Could have killed. I mean, he should have killed her. Yeah.
I think you should beat every one of them into the hospital when they do it. God. I don't care if they're drunk.
Yeah. And 1939, Lou Gehrig, first baseman for the Yankees, played 17 seasons, retired on this day in 1939. 7-time All-Star, 6 World Series champs. Gehrig won the Triple Crown in 34, twice American League Most Valuable Player. 39, he was diagnosed with the disease named after him. And this was his last game. On this day, just couldn't go on. Didn't make it for the rest of the summer. And God bless America. Yes.
Julio Franco retired on this day. How old was Julio Franco when he hung up the spike?
Oh, wow. I think he was up there. I think, wasn't he like 40 or something?
Higher.
Really? 42 or 3 or something in that area?
Higher.
Oh, my God. 59 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Julio Franco.
We think he was 49 years old.
Holy
he had
cow.
been playing in the Mexican League.
Holy cow. That's pretty good for him. You know, what a story. Oh, man. I love baseball. I miss baseball. I want to play baseball.
We're playing baseball. Baseball season's underway.
I know, but I mean, I miss playing catch. I miss playing baseball.
Flounder, will you play catch with him for God's sake?
I've got my mitt and a ball in the car.
Absolutely.
I carry my glove and my ball. At least one baseball.
Me and Veronica played catch in the front yard the other day.
Isn't that's so cool? I used to when I had time. I was kind of an assistant coach on my daughter's softball teams. And I don't know. Anyway, so
do you have any kind of yard?
No, not really. Well, there's a courtyard area. Yes, yeah. I mean, I live in a townhome gated community, so it's a big circle. So in the middle of that big circle of all the townhomes is a green space. Yeah, they're a park
put a
area.
pitchback thing out there. You can get it at Walmart and just throw it against a pitchback and bounce it back to you.
And there are kids I see once in a while. At least there used to be. I think they might have moved. There were 2 or 3 young boys and like a teenage girl, and they were sports active, shot baskets a lot and stuff like that. But they're gone now. I think they might have moved. Anyway, and plus, I don't want to hang around. Play. Hey, you got to play catch with your son? No, I'm sorry.
You knock on the door.
It's going to happen.
Did Bobby come out and play?
Well, speaking of sons and daughters, I saw this and I didn't want to even talk about it. Then I thought, well, this is typical. Now, among my news sources that I look at every morning when I'm getting stuff ready that I want to have Flounder print up for me for the show, and the things that we all look at are various news sources. One of mine that I look at every day is the New York Post, and of course, the New York Post has huge stories concerning people in New York, including Robert De Niro. And there's a huge story now, or there was earlier today, that Robert De Niro's daughter has come out as trans, because Robert De Niro's daughter used to be a boy. His name now is Aaron, Airyn. I guess pronounced Aaron or Aaron, I don't know. 29 years old, and has now come out as tranny. The aspiring actress and model interviewed with Them magazine says one of De Niro's 7 children, by the way, 29-year-old. Difference between being visible and not being seen. I've been visible. I don't think I've ever been seen. So he wanted to become out in public. He used to be called Robert De Niro's Nepo baby son, a term describing children and stars who benefit from their parents' fame, despite him being largely out of the spotlight. But now he has come out because he wants to be recognized for his now girlish things he wants to do. Yeah.
His entire career is in the crapper, so now he's going to try and get attention.
Yeah. He's been femme presenting since he was in middle school, where he would wear clothing and hairstyles like a girl, and he finally decided to go for hormone therapy because he wanted to maintain femininity as he got older, calling himself a late bloomer to be trending into a girl. And guess what? He's studying to become a mental health counselor.
Oh, great.
A mental health counselor. Isn't trannyism a mental health issue described as a mental health problem?
It should be. If it isn't anymore, it should be.
So wouldn't he need counseling to get over the problem that he wants to be a counselor about? I mean, is this...
we're supposed to just play along.
It would be like if you have a drug counselor who is still a drug addict. I know. My daughter is a drug counselor, but she's been clean for 20 years. Now, she's still an addict, but she's been clean for 20 or 21 years this October. 21 years this October. But if she were still an addict, she couldn't be a drug counselor. So how could you be a drug counselor, a tranny counselor, if you're a tranny? To counsel them against being a tranny.
They're special. They're special.
I don't
people.
get it. And again, I feel bad. I don't. I'm not anti-tranny. I'm not scared of trannies. Let's say I have a gun and trying to kill me. But again, it's for God.
They're killing society. They're helping kill civilization because they're not having babies. And I can't point fingers. I haven't either that I know of.
I don't know why women are upset. I don't know why gay women are upset. I don't know why everybody's upset about making it part of our daily routine now for acceptance. Anyways, 5:45 already. Holy criminy. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? Don't leave us now, baby.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law, don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com. Now, here we go.
Walking through a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, they began to wail. The band was jumping and the drum began to swing. You should have heard this knocked out jailbird sing.
That's rock, baby. Jailhouse Rock. On this date, 1957, Elvis recorded this song, done by Lieber and Stoller. Jailhouse Rock was his third motion picture of the title name of it. In the movie, Mike Stoller, who wrote it, had a small role as a piano player. And I find this amazing and pretty interesting. Jailhouse Rock became the first song ever to debut at number 1 in Great Britain. Great Britain. This was the number 1 song. As soon as it was released, it went to number 1 in Great Britain. That's pretty cool. Our birthday list includes another hottie, Ana de Armas, 37-year-old, the Cuban-Spanish actress. She's beautiful. Starring in the upcoming John Wick spin-off Ballerina. Now, I haven't heard about that. Another John Wick movie? She's 37, Ana de Armas.
I can't believe she's 37.
Cuban-Spanish actress in the new John Wick spinoff, Ballerina. So does that mean she's a killer? I wonder whether she's a secret killer.
She was great in the James Bond film.
Well, Knives Out. She's Marta in Knives Out and a Bond girl in No Time to Die. Joy in Blade Runner 2049 and Marilyn Monroe in Blonde. I think she got an award nomination for Academy Award nomination for Blonde as Marilyn Monroe. Ana de Armas, 37 years old. I remember in Knives Out. I remember a beautiful, cool, funny. I liked her. I thought she was pretty cool. We're going to do a little. Audio historical note here. Flounder was on this day. Something special happened involving Ellen DeGeneres, who was on an ABC show series in 1994, became the star, and they would bring her own show in 1995 with a show called Ellen, where she was Ellen Morgan, a bookstore manager. And whenever people were talking about her character, and even personally, she would always say, "Well, I'm Lebanese." kind of a takeoff word on something else. But on this day in 1997, this was on TV in America.
This is so hard, but I think I've realized that I can't even say the word. Why can't I say the word? I mean, why can't I just say... I mean, what is wrong? Why do I have to be so ashamed? I mean, why can't I just say the truth? I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
That's when the mic came on in the store. The loudspeaker came on. As soon as she said, I'm gay, the store manager, the light of my thing came on. And that was a bit. There were 42 million people watched that episode. The puppy episode was an hour long. Laura Dern was in it. Oprah Winfrey was a therapist she talked to. Katie Lang, Demi Moore, Billy Bob Thornton, Dwight Yoakam. And that was a huge, huge monster hit. But that was 1997. By the end of the season, they canceled it because nobody was watching anymore. After they did the big deal, and I said, well, that's a ball game. Nobody really cares about this anymore. For you, thank you so much. And I want to mention one more history thing, which I found really pretty cool. I hope you won't kill me for this. Pete Davis, I'll bet you've heard of this. Operation Mincemeat, Dead Man's Bluff. 1943, British intelligence agents plant a dead corpse with a fictitious ID, identifying him as a military captain named William Martin, and documents indicating there's going to be an invasion of Sardinia, Greece. They planted his dead body. The Germans found it and fell for the ruse. They were able then to take Sicily, which was defended because of the buildup in Sardinia, which the Germans taught would be the fake invasion. It worked because the naval intelligence officers were so invested they created a backstory. They had identity. A homeless guy named Gwendolyn Michael died after ingesting rat poison was the story. Became an officer in the Royal Marines. They gave him a name and a rank, including a fiancée waiting for him at home. He had an ID card, a uniform, underwear befitting an officer, with all manner of wallet litter. A note from his bank manager saying he was overdrawn. Ticket stubs from theaters and clubs. His appetite for nightlife. His poignant love letters from his beloved Pam, with whom he'd had a whirlwind wartime romance, and even gave him an engagement ring. And the Germans found the body off of a submarine, supposedly, and said, oh my God, here are the war plans to invade Sardinia, and they fell for it.
Yeah, there's a great movie on Netflix. Came out a year or two ago about that. It's really good.
It's a truce. I mean, and it worked. Sure. I mean, what a time. Holy cow. 5:55. Anyway. Mark Zuckerberg. Pete found this story earlier. I'll bet you Mark Zuckerberg is probably a pretty good fighter. 40-year-old Zuckerberg says he was doing some interviews. Everybody's on a podcast these days. He says he doesn't drink coffee, won't do chemicals, stuff like that, but he loves creatine and vitamin D supplements in the morning. He drinks a large amount of protein stuff in the morning instead of coffee or tea. But the biggest thing he does in the morning is start off by fighting people. The first thing he does is have a 2-hour Brazilian jiu-jitsu session of mixed martial arts. I wake up in the morning and I fight people. The added jolt of energy helps him recenter himself and tackle the workday. Mark Zuckerberg says jiu-jitsu is the greatest sport, more thrilling than he used to run laps around the neighborhood. He says this is a lot more exciting. Awkward robotic personas trying to become a little more relaxed in his personal lifestyle.
Become human.
Yeah.
He wants to be.
He's from Mars. Look at the man. He's from Mars, I'm telling you. There's no question about it.
Zuckerberg 1.0. We're up to like 5.0 right now. It's becoming more and more human looking.
Yeah, but I think he's making an effort too. I think he's really, truly making an effort. As he's and also he's now talking to Donald Trump, and he's trying to be more of this and that and stuff. So I mean, here that's got to be good news for everybody. I would assume. Anyway, I don't know. We got a Flounders Friday coming up here in just about a minute. But just real quickly, there's something going around on social media now. A famous trial lawyer says he can tell you how to tell if somebody's lying to you with one word, and it almost always is a dead giveaway. This guy says when people are trying to hide the truth, they often always say things like never, never. He said, for example, when he asked the guy, were you texting while you were driving that particular day? No, I never text. I never text. And he says, if you repeat the question slowly and give the guy a chance to think about it for a second, sometimes you'll say, well, are you sure you didn't text at all? He says, well, I mean, I might have texted that day, but I never text, but I might have texted that day. So all of a sudden, they've now contradicted themselves just by getting them to repeat it again. But if people say immediately, no, I never do that. I've never done that. I've never raised my hand to a woman. That kind of stuff. Chances are they're not telling you the truth. Anyway, I thought it was kind of bizarre. Yeah, trial lawyers. I'm going to be a trial lawyer. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on Hump Day. And Braves are back in town Friday, taking on the Dodgers for a 3-day stand. This ought to be really interesting. Anyway, 5:58. How about one more Flounder's Funny before we move on and adios ourselves out of here?
This one's just for you.
Oh boy.
We're all adults. We all agree the Special Olympics is a good.
Oh God,
it's a good program.
I'm sorry.
It's great. I just feel like the guy who came up with it had to be like a real risk taker. You know what I mean? That's a wild thing to suggest for the first time. Just some guy in a board meeting, like, I got an idea. We should be racing these motherfuckers.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
I'm sorry.
Count over said they're the fastest ones.
I'm sorry.
So we settle it,
We settle it.
I'm not making fun of the Olympians. The concept is wild. It's a wild, like if your best friend invented the Special Olympics and told you about it first, you'd be like, don't ever tell anybody that. Who are you going to tell that to? What are you doing? Pole vault?
Don't ever tell anybody that. I'm so sorry. Oh, mercy. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, Flounder, Christine, sing me home, baby. I gotta go. You're killing me. Hoorah, Herb. Look out. Be careful out there. Herb.